Going into the playoffs, we feel that we need to perform immediately.
We have been through a lot of playoffs. We know how to handle the pressure.
We need to just play our game. We are better than them.
Who's better? That's the point of competition.
If we are confident, we can be the best team in the world.
There is no room for mistake.
You want to prove everyone that you're the best.
Are you envious of this man? If not, you should be. It's Kenny S, the French AWP superstar, back in the house, looking to carry his team to victory, but it isn't going to be easy. He has to go up against the king, who is very much back. It's Olofmeister for Fnatic, one of the best players in the world, fresh from injury. They're going to be playing for a chance of $1.4 million and that trophy in shot. But let's move from the trophy to a championship-winning analyst desk. You may notice that contractually the network insisted we had to make it a bit more attractive. Obviously, it was Moses that had to go. We've got Puckett joining us on the desk today, and of course, the esports historian, Duncan Thorin Shields. How are we doing today, guys?
All right. Doing well. Yeah, started the day off with some barbecue.
Yeah.
Barbecue.
Great start.
Speaking of barbecue, I actually read a really interesting AMA yesterday that said that Richard is on a diet, apparently. He's doing a lot of exercise. So, what kind of diet is that, Richard?
Yeah. Let's not get into the specifics, guys. Let's talk about the brackets instead. You can see coming up, it's a feast of Counter-Strike. We have EnVyUs versus Fnatic, always a classic encounter. Then Na'Vi up against Cloud9, back from the dead, given a last chance to make it to our championship weekend on Friday, July 29th. Tomorrow we'll be bringing you Astralis versus Mouse Sports, and then Virtus Pro versus NIP will be the game on TBS. Now, we could stay here and talk about diets and stuff all day. Let's not do that. Let's go meet the casters.
Now, love those guys.
Yeah,
Ooh, this is nice.
You never did this, did you?
Nice
This
and
is Chris's first time riding the big desk. So you will notice that Semler is missing at the moment, MIA, and not for the first time in his career. So little baby Moses is up there with Anders. How you doing, guys?
Quite well. I've slightly lost it. That introduction there was a bit interesting, but no, I'm doing pretty well.
And I'm a little upset, Richard.
Why?
You can't just say that I was replaced for the good-looking portion. You look like a goblin.
All right.
All right.
And camaraderie.
It's been fun.
Listen, boys, let's not have a goblin off. Come on. Let's not have a goblin off on the desk.
Just quick thoughts about this tie, and then I'll beat you up backstage.
I'm just pretty excited for this matchup. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think Envy have a sort of some sort of talent to throw Fnatic off, but they should be the better team. I think Fnatic are going to win it.
And Devil was outside leading their little pregame talk about. He was the one out there, just everyone listening to him. All these guys who've been the best in the world. Happy, Kenny, NBK. These guys all just paying complete attention to everything that he was talking about, how they want to play this matchup.
Yeah. Man, they've fallen that low.
Yeah.
It's probably over. Easy 2-0 for Fnatic.
So
I guess,
you're not going to kick me, right, guys? Anyway, we'll see you guys later. You'll have plenty of time to talk during the game. Thanks for that.
See you, Moses.
See ya.
Later, buddy.
Oh, I love that, Moses. Now, look, obviously I'm getting wrecked here, so why don't we throw you over to someone that is going to class up the proceedings? It is, of course, our interview. No doubt. Our interviewer, Rachel Kuriko.
That's a lot of pressure to have to class this up, but I think I can do it. So if you guys bear with me, we got a bit to talk about here. First up, we have a way for you guys to get tickets. Come down and watch our finals at the Cobb Energy Center next weekend. Head on over to the ELEAGUE website, buy those for yourself, get a nice experience. Come in person and experience all this love on the desk here at the Counter-Strike team. Let's check out Friday. We have our show at 10 p.m. on TV. That's going to be Virtus Pro versus Ninjas in Pajamas. It's going to be amazing at 10 p.m. on TBS. But today we have our very first match of the day coming up. It's going to be Fnatic versus EnVyUs, and it's going to be an incredible match up here. Fnatic looking very, very confident, in great spirits, but maybe they don't realize just how close this match could go. Find out after the break.
JW likes to wash his hands before the games.
I do it a lot, but not as much as before.
My teammate has a strange ritual. Just when it's about to go live, he always leaves and washes his hands.
For some reason, if my hands are like dirty while I'm holding my gear or I just ate food, it feels kind of like a little OCD feeling. I don't like how it feels in my gear.
Domino's pre-game rituals. Go on the offensive and Counter-Strike hunger. Order online now at Domino's.com.
Yes, welcome to the Domino's Countdown, the official pizza of ELEAGUE. Let's start talking about these two teams, EnVyUs versus Fnatic, absolutely amazing teams. And this is a classic encounter, not necessarily with these lineups. Let's start by looking at EnVyUs and a player I know you admire, KennyS.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy where his storyline used to be so tragic. He used to be the best player in the world, but playing for kind of a lesser team. I mean, I know Nico can feel what I'm talking about there. But then he got his chance to join what was the best team in his country, EnVyUs, obviously, and actually they won his second major with them. They were in the final of the first major he was with. He's had a lot of success. But interestingly enough, the last few months have been probably the worst of his whole career. He's had all these last place at last two majors. In terms of his individual form, at ELEAGUE, he really picked it up. He looked like the MVP in that final of the group stage that we had there. But then at the major, I mean, he had his troubles, obviously quite a tricky group to navigate, admittedly. So he's very much someone kind of proved again that he's one of the best players in the world and kind of, obviously, is an ideal matchup to go against one of the all-time great teams to do so.
Yeah, and you can see his ELEAGUE stats here. He went on a tear. Was definitely one of the standout players for EnVyUs as they got here. It's going to be tough for him today, though, because Puckett, you might not be known as a Counter-Strike expert. That might be something of an understatement. But for as long as you've been in the game, you've known about Fnatic and, of course, the man, Olafmeister.
That's right. Over the last 2 years, you just see one guy always on top of the leaderboard. Olaf, everyone considered him to be, if not the greatest, one of the greats in the game. You even heard him here at ELEAGUE. I don't think I'm the best, but I don't think there's anyone better than me. This guy plays with a whole lot of confidence, and last time we saw him here at ELEAGUE, he was off to a slow start, but he really turned it up at the end of each game. He was nearing the top of the leaderboard, and really, you just gotta love everything that this guy brings to the table. He can use every single weapon, he does it confidently, and he's got a lot of trust in his teammates. Yeah, and you know, we saw him come back from that injury. He was a little bit, you know, shaky to begin with. He even talked, which I thought was really interesting, about that fear factor of coming back from an injury, not wanting to potentially damage himself again.
Yeah, well, I mean, that has to be something you have to think about, because one of the things when he first got injured was you could actually see even in game, like it was obviously he had some sort of restriction in his movement. And so when he came back, even though all the doctors, he said multiple doctors told him, you're all clear, you can play again. It was in his own mind. He was thinking like, can I go sort of like into fifth gear in this sense? Can I go all out? Or will I have to worry that I re-injure myself? And obviously that'll have tragic implications for the team because we know how much he's necessary to this Fnatic team winning. Absolutely.
Now, we were talking earlier about what was going to be the X factor in the game. That is the X factor presented by HyperX. And in our expertise, we decided that it was going to be NBK from EnVyUs. Tell us why, Duncan.
Yeah, so what I did was I looked at when these core lineups played each other in the era when they had KennyS, etc. And what I found was EnVyUs actually used to beat Fnatic in those games purely on the fragging, actually. They used to out-frag this very skilled Fnatic lineup. And so I looked, what will the core fragging players for each team be? And so all over on Fnatic, I decided, okay, Olafmeister at the moment wasn't so great at the major, but Crims and Flasher were very much back in form. So that trio is going to be very potent for Fnatic. So I look over on the EnVyUs side, okay, you've got KennyS, you've got Apex. You know they're going to have a chance to go crazy. If you're going to have someone else step up and be that third person for the trio for EnVyUs so they can match them in terms of pure firepower, it's probably NBK actually. Like Happy's he's kind of out of sorts in terms of style. Devil's never really been a big fragger on the team. NBK's someone we know has got skill, and we know he's had pretty decent stats recently. So I feel if he can join KennyS and Apex and make kind of a really potent trio there, then in terms of fragging, now you've got a chance where EnVyUs can beat Fnatic, even though in terms of teams, okay, we'd probably edge the team aspect to Fnatic, but I think that could be the X factor. I think if NBK arrives, EnVyUs can win this match.
Well, we need to look at the veto. Let's see what we're going to get. Again, Chris, I'll leave you out of this.
Appreciate
Duncan's wheelhouse, yeah.
So this is an obvious ban from EnVyUs, guys. It's basically their permaban overpass. Fnatic banning Nuke, also not a surprise. They have never played Nuke so far, and this is a map that has been one of their most banned. Now, in terms of pick, I'm actually thinking the Cobblestone pick from EnVyUs shows a lot of confidence, because this is right now the second best map for Fnatic. So I think Fnatic picks Cash here, returns the favor if they do so, because, oh, they've gone with Dust too. Now, that's also a map that, interestingly, you would not expect from the guys from Fnatic. It's not a map that's been very much in their wheelhouse. They lost to FaZe at the Major on it. Meanwhile, EnVyUs have been fantastic on Dust 2. It's been very much a new map that they've brought in. And so the Decider being Cash, though, is the interesting one, because right now, these 3 maps, Cobblestone, Dust 2, Cash, are the 3 best maps of EnVyUs.
Yeah.
Whereas, okay, Cobblestone and Cash, I know are fantastic maps for Fnatic. Dust 2 is a real surprise, and that's their pick, remember. It's not like they picked Cobblestone, so I think they've tried to throw a big curveball in there.
Yeah, and like I said, well, what a tantalizing series on paper. The players are ready. Chris, I'm going to ask you for some predictions here. I'm feeling a very strong kind of Fnatic vibe from you based on your wonderful poetry about Olafmeister.
You know, Olaf says he's the best in the world. I asked Flusha who's the best in the world, and he said himself. You look at this squad, I think they have more talent in the 5-guy roster, but today, I'm putting on my boys in blue jersey. I'm a fanboy for Envy.
These Call of Duty guys sticking together, it makes me sick. Okay. Come on, Dan.
You guys are all picking Fnatic. I'm just making it interesting.
I don't pick. I'm the host. I recuse myself.
I will say this Dust 2 pick is the one that concerns me. I feel like the map pool looks good for EnVyUs. Problem is, I think Fnatic is still fantastic on Cobble and Cash, and they can win that certainly. Dust 2 is not a decided matter entirely. So I'm actually feeling like I'm still going to edge it to Fnatic with that Fnatic magic. I think they're going to do it.
All right, thanks for your thoughts, guys. Let's do our mad fly through and hand you over to Anders and Moses.
Thank you very much, Richard. And yes, indeed, we are live here. It's Cobblestone between Envy and Fnatic. And, you know, a bit of a split desk there. Where do you line up, Moses?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of took Fnatic with this one yesterday, put it out in the brackets. It's out there in public, so I can't really go away from it. But I do think, I mean, there's just so much strength on this team, and that's the one thing I'm glad Puckett actually mentioned Flusha, because with players like Olafmeister and JW, the height plays that he makes, Flusha often goes unnoticed, but he's such a strong player in there as well.
Yeah, definitely it seems, especially in big games that really matter, where the pressure's really on, he seems to be a really reliable player. Good early start as well for Olafmeister, who picks off Devlin. They just rush in there with knives out. Look how quick Fnatic are trying to be here early on the terrorist side. It's right now a 2-on-4 as only Kenny and NBK are left, and they're getting shut down as well. Dennis probably could have had that kill. Instead, it's NBK to take it through the door. Kenny picking up one and gets jumped on. The bomb is down, and it's a 1-on-2 here.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot NBK can do here. This was a really nice tactic with 2 HP left. Flusha does take him down in the end. And that's really nice timing from Fnatic. As soon as Olaf gets that first kill, you could see the pressure over towards the A bomb site was escalated, and that allows them to get one more pick on someone trying to rotate from A to B. They get him before he can get into the double door. So you could see the Envy defense was just so confused, stuck in that connector, stuck in drop zone, no idea where to go.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. That, you know, you usually end up having someone call, you know, let's go fast A, fast B. Not both, but that's actually what they did. They ended up really fast in both bomb sites.
And it was like kind of almost a reverse split. Normally we see them come down, drop, and split towards the A bomb site. Instead, it's just go right up A and split into connector. That's what Fnatic wanted to do, and it worked out so well.
It's going to put them at a bit of a bad start here for Envy, but maybe also one that could be expected when you're playing on Cobblestone. You know the CT side is going to be rough. It's a little bit better now that NBK picks up a good kill. Dennis returns with one more. And JW with that sawn-off shotgun that he loves using in the drop. It's not even a surprise anymore.
It is going to be a little bit dangerous for Happy, and JW is just right to his left. That smoke clears. He does the damage, and there it is. There's that kill. And now that prompts the rest of Envy to get aggressive, try and find something, create some kind of a play that can pull him back into the round, but it doesn't work. JW is going to go for one more, but he's down so low, but he gets it anyways. Picked out of the sky is Apex.
Great return on investment. He starts the round at $5,050, so that's pretty good. And Envy, not a lot that they can respond with early on here.
Now it's going to be even better for JW as well, because he still keeps that shotgun, doesn't have to rebuy it, and now they don't have armor. So, I mean, we saw him use a couple shots to kill Happy, but without armor, that should just be a one-shot kill in that same scenario. So another chance for JW to just build up more of that bank for the future. And Flush even sticking with just a 5-7, not even going for a rifle.
Yeah, and I like it. You know, we sometimes criticize even the top-level teams for taking too many risks, but I mean, they still have the 3 AKs to fall back on here. So I feel like this is fairly reasonable. You see Flusha doing some work and trying to figure out how many people are in there. I'm not sure if he spotted more than NBK, but that Deagle headshot, just way too much for him to handle, and that's going to make it a 4-on-5 here as the rest of Fnatic decide to switch it up, go to the A-bomb site. They're going to be quick in there with Molotovs, smokes, and everything else. I don't see any chance for Envy to retake this bomb site.
Yeah, Fnatic, you can see in the pistol round and now this as well, they're really taking advantage of the fact that the defenses have to be really honest in case there's a fast B play and send the majority of their forces there to slow that down. Quickly up the A bomb site, and it's a free plant. They even have JW coming in on the flank. He's going to be able to cut off rotations, and he spotted NBK. Oh, but that's a nice win. NBK lands a headshot.
Yeah, so no money for JW in this round. The rest of Fnatic just going to hold on to the bomb here. No chance of it actually getting defused. So just Envy, I think, trying to look for exit kills if possible. NBK has got 2 in this round and 1 in the last one. So he's doing a lot of damage at least, trying to make sure that Fnatic have to rebuy. But again, if they save these 3 AKs, that's really all the investment they had in the round anyway. So see if it's going to be working out. They must realize where he is by now. I think a little bit of confusion.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. They weren't even looking that way at the end there. And the bummer, too, is NBK gets a couple nice kills, but he doesn't take any AKs away. It was the shotgun and it was the 5-7 on Flusha. So despite those good kills, I mean, he doesn't really damage the economy a whole lot, especially on the T side where it's a little bit easier to manage.
So the first real test now for Envy is they do pick up rifles. They've got 2 M4s, 1 Max 7, that's all right. 1 AWP, that's all right. But Moses, I'm looking at your face.
I'm really the double shotgun is pretty crazy. This is also partially because NBK bought Deagles both of those 2 save rounds, so he upgraded pistols both of those rounds. So maybe not feeling as much money. He's going to have to be playing towards the drop. That's exactly what it is. But look at JW, not even with an op, and he's being aggressive. Devil's close up to this Max 7. He can't land the shots though. He gets taken down, and the whole while Happy could have supported him with the M4 from Statue, but wasn't peeking whatsoever.
You know, we always come back to this, and I was looking at that little outline of the player behind the fountain, I was thinking, why isn't he moving? And it's Happy. That's why he's not moving.
It all makes sense now.
It all makes sense, because it looked like Devil bought a lot of time, but maybe it was worth it, because that's a stunning headshot to shut down Flusha. Dennis has also gone down, and suddenly EnVyUs are actually back in the lead here. Kenny showing up with that AWP to take down Crims, and suddenly it's left to JW, who just dies then. Olofmeister alone in a 1-on-4 here, trying to see if he can make it out. He's got the bomb at least.
He's got a minute to toy with, so what he can do is try and go back towards drop, try and go back towards A, see if there's anyone pushing up. I mean, he's got about 20-30 seconds to look for just 1 pick, but with the pace he's at, he's going to be in a 1-on-2, 1-on-3 after that no matter what, and there it is. NBK a little bit too casual, just walking into drop, not even prepared for that. So now a 1-on-3 with 30 seconds, and going towards this A site, Apex is the only one here, so he's going to have another 1-on-1.
Yeah, so far, good intuitive play coming out of Olofmeister. Obviously, he can't know exactly where they are, but you can see how many assumptions he's making about where they're not. He's not checking everything. He's being fairly quick because he knows he might as well. He has to sort of go really deep to win this round. So just going to try and sneak it in. Kenny was in position, but that peek even could have worked out in his favor. So overall, just an interesting round, but Envy coming out on top with a really big win.
Yeah, that one kill from Happy, it's such a clever spot as well because the way he's ducked, he's blocked off from any flashbang that comes low. They have to be flashbangs in the air to blind him, and unfortunately Fnatic didn't throw any of those. So they stall him out long enough for Kenny to rotate over. And you're right, I mean, Olaf in that kind of a situation, in that 1-on-3 with 40 seconds left, you basically have to take those calculated risks where he said we put so much pressure on the B site, someone rotated over, very unlikely they'll still be in the bomb site. So he's just not even checking that way. He's making sure if anyone peeks from doors, he wins that fight.
Again, we've got a very similar setup in that bomb site with Happy playing a little bit further behind and Devil being close there. So we'll see if that defense is going to continue to work and if Happy's actually going to help out Devil, or if it's part of the plan. It could be that sort of, you know, they take one fight at a time, although it seems a bit crazy. The bomb right now is on the other side of the map, though. JW and Flusha are just holding on. It seems like Fnatic in general are just, you know, waiting as they take control along here.
And now, I mean, this is very slow-paced round from Fnatic staying very far back. And this is unlike the previous round we just saw where they put a lot of pressure onto that B site very quickly. Also, with that one win that Envy has, 3 members surviving as well, Fnatic knows that they build up some of the utility they can use. So we saw that nade land onto Flusha, do some early damage, and at least keep them back initially.
The rotation is actually happening. That's Happy now making his way towards the A bomb site. So maybe Envy have gleaned a little bit, or they heard someone walking somewhere, because this is a big assumption on their part that this is going to be an A push.
Well, and Olaf is just here now. They got him in position. They got him pretty advanced. So when they hit the B bomb site, he's going to flank up long, late, or just cut off rotations of those doors. And now it's looking like he's going to walk right through the smoke at some point.
Yeah, it's so thin on the left-hand side that he actually just sneaks through. He even sees the gun barrel there, and MBK goes down. That's a big opening. Crim's going to get the second one, taking out Apex, and this is just all falling apart. Envy Very slow round coming in from Fnatic, and Envy just couldn't stop it there. Triple for Crims, in fact.
Well, you can see how quickly Fnatic, one of the few teams that can do this consistently with how spread out they are. That's not an execution out of the bomb site. That's as soon as that first kill happens, there's only 3 members towards that B platform, or maybe even just 2. And then they have just players in position at the top of drop. They have Olafmeister flanking that are just ready to punish these teams when they start trying to reinforce the bomb site that's being attacked. They have so many players in position to just cut off those rotations and weaken the reinforcements going over. So very nicely done from Fnatic.
Yeah, it also appeared that there was no sort of really obvious and identifiable piece of information that made them rotate 3 into A. It seemed like sort of a, you know, just a call based on intuition. You know, let's try and see if we can't catch them here, and it just didn't work out ultimately. Now they're back to pistols and maybe a little bit of armor, but ultimately it looks like we're about to be 5-1 here favoring Fnatic. And again, so quick. And what was that shot? Olaf, not even a little bit hesitant there, getting the headshot on Apex.
Yeah, Olaf's been taking a lot of isolated positions on this map so far, so he's the one away from the main point of the action, just wreaking havoc. Kenny gets one more kill. JW a little bit confused, and there's Happy. There's the AK-47. They've actually salvaged 2. Devil has one as well, and Dennis has got to be careful. Hard to clear these close angles with the AWP, and he's not even going to do it. Almost recovers in time with a pistol.
Yeah, that headshot could have taken him out, but he's still going to be alive. That leaves Crims. If he could find Devil and Happy first, then he has a chance of doing it. And he's got a little bit of time as well to maybe make this work. There's the first spray coming in, and that's Happy going down. Now 45 seconds and still 2 more members to find, and maybe even a bomb to plant. Even if he's got a little bit of health here, it's so hard to win these 1v2s.
Especially considering Devil has an AWP, and even though he's low on HP, he's going to be using that as a long-range angle. And that's exactly, he's just staring right at the bomb. 30 seconds left. Crim spots the one. That's a nice headshot onto Kenny. All of a sudden down into a one-on-one.
Look at Devil already running away. As soon as his teammate goes down, he actually repositions himself. And think about how hard it is for Crims to guess that this is where Devil is going to be. Obviously, the last 2 members are going to play as a duo, so he has to expect the other person is nearby here. Now, Crims, 10 seconds, and he's going to go down. Devil with a really big kill and a huge round for Envy. This should have been Fnatic's chance to take control of almost the entirety of the first half here.
That's the risk you run, this style that Fnatic has, where they're a little bit spread out. You could see everyone, you know, kind of goes their own ways once they get certain control of the map. And Envy's able to pick them off and salvage those AK-47, so a very good round, and then Devil with the op. That's a nicely played one-on-one, readjusting into the off angle. So now it's Fnatic who has economic pressure put on them. I mean, Envy had to save that round, they win it. But now if you look at the money they have left in the bank, it's not much. Only Crims has 2,200, but everyone else is fully invested.
I feel like Fnatic slowed down too much in that round after the initial engagement. This time, a little bit more speed, but Kenny not getting caught, that actually could have been extremely dangerous, but somehow he lives.
I mean, Flush actually had the advantage in that fight. That's a very sick reaction from Kenny to save that kind of a situation, to have this position now.
He's right at the edge, so he can help out at drop, and also, obviously, the main entrance into B there. Oh, he's trying to shoot through, and we never see people do this, so I'm really excited that it's finally happening, and he almost got the hit there. It's perfectly possible. You can even headshot people and they'll die straight away. I think it does 60-some damage if you shoot through that wall. So you've got a real decent chance of doing it, but it's been, I think, underutilized a little bit. JW trying to see if he could maybe find an entry. They do need one to get back into this round. 55 seconds here, and Fnatic aren't being contained. And I like Happy and Apex are so far pushed up over at the A side, so they know if anything's happening over there.
You can see JW, though, this style, it's so hard to punish. He's doing some shoulder peeks, these jump peeks. He's just trying to find information without committing to any fight. He knows there's one waiting for him outside drop. He might have even caught sight of Devil initially, but it's going to be on Kenny behind this smoke. He's got to make this work. 30 seconds left for Fnatic.
And as they try and rotate back a little bit, Dennis getting caught by Happy. That was on the A side. MBK will be going down, and a little bit of hesitation there. Kenny missing a kill, but we'll pick up JW. Finally goes down, but this might be too late altogether. 1-on-3 right now, and Olafmeister trying to see if he could maybe get back into this round, or at least he should do some more damage right now. Envy are actually looking quite strong, but it's not going to be enough here. 2 people survive for the French team, and they do make the scoreline 3-4. They don't have that much money, but Fnatic have even less.
Oh, that was a nice run boost. We've been seeing them do that on a couple different maps, and that's actually, having talked to NBK in you know, the last time they were here at ELEAGUE, that's one of those things that Devil's kind of brought into the table. They have one on Dust 2 as well that we might be able to see in the next map, where they run boost through the smoke execution on Catwalk. But that extra second is what gets Kenny up there in time to save the situation. Flusha almost had the angle on him.
were talking about weird buys. We've seen auto shotguns, mag 7s, a bit of everything. Now we've got the dual elites picked up in the 8th round. That almost never happens. So, of course, it's got to be NBK to try and do that. Kenny, good shot there. And Fnatic, they have actually invested with pistol and armor into this round. See if they can maybe get the bomb down. Crim's going to be taking down NBK, so that's a strong start. Now it's a 4-on-4.
Well, and this is where Fnatic, you can see they immediately back off. This is where they kind of thrive, is these situations with that advantage. Kenny's got to be careful. He's blind. He's got backup here though. Happy comes in. It's the HE grenade that saves his life though. Olaf gets dropped. Envy on the verge of something dangerous happening, but they sustain.
Yeah, there are no Claymore mines in Counter-Strike, but there might as well have been one. You know, just putting it down and being chased after that worked out pretty well. 4-4 now, moving into the 9th round, and that wasn't sort of like a halfway buy for Fnatic. They went all in on that round, and I wouldn't say that worked enough. They needed more.
Because the thing is, even if they don't win the round, the goal of that as well is to do more damage than just getting that one kill. That's a buy that's more an attempt to try and keep the economy of Envy in check. They would be fine with losing the round if they got 3-4 kills, obviously, but not even close to that.
Well, we'll see if this is going to work out or not. They currently have 3 Deagles and 2 P250s here, so they could still do some significant damage. A flashbang is going to be going in, and smoke goes up. Olaf, I really wanted him to challenge that, but it's not going to happen. Instead, now it's NBK. One more headshot coming in, and Crim's to go down. So 5 versus 3 here. And Olaf, is he looking for a third one here? NBK just almost making it happen. It was close.
I just spotted the top of Olaf Meister's head, and he's actually going to stick around with this. So he's been doing this. He's been having the shotgun in this position pretty much this entire half so far. So it looked a little curious in the 4th round, but now it just seems to be a pretty consistent thing. Maybe being a little bit jealous of some of the rounds that Hiko's been able to pull off with the auto shotgun. Wanted to get his own style in there.
Yeah, there really aren't that many players that will try and sort of steer outside the main guns, right? We never see the SG 553 picked up, almost never. NBK is one of the players that would do it sometimes in the past just for fun. The AUG also never really used. I'm not saying that it should be, but it's interesting that there are some players who want.
And there is actually, we're going to take a technical timeout. We are going to fix a little bit of the Twitch stream, and then we're going to take a quick break, so stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What is this Photoshop going on?
Well, it looks like the Goblin King from Labyrinth.
See, when they said, I was thinking The Hobbit. I was thinking an even meaner version.
That would have been epic. That would have been good.
Yeah, not to throw Richard
I think
under the bus,
most of the viewers might not notice that reference, but I can't be the only person who saw that he was very goblin-esque in his appearance.
I'm sure there'll be more Photoshops on Twitter somewhere. We did have a bit of a technical issue, and thanks to those of you who are pointing out that there was some problems with the stream. It should be fixed now. We've got Envy and Fnatic here, and right now, I've got to say, the Frenchmen are actually fighting back much more than I thought they would be. I think almost everyone was on Fnatic's side here, but Envy are showing some real spirit, and Kenny, a big part of it, taking down Olafmeister, and JW with a bit of a return, but he switches weapons a bit too fast, and that's going to be him going down to Happy, and the rest of Fnatic now starting to push in on this A side, and the communication coming out quick from Envy. Already the rotation is happening. They got a great crossfire, although part of that is down. What is Dennis doing? That's a second kill, all headshots so far, and finally Devil there to shut him out. He's out in the open. He's got no cover. He's still going to win that fight, and now it's a one-on-one. What a mad round so far. Grenade gonna land right in Kenny's face, and he's down to 51 health. A return there onto Crims, and the problem is Kenny still has the AWP. He almost would have been better off with a rifle or even the Tech 9 right now, because Crims isn't on that much health. Bomb not planted yet, and Kenny sneaking around to the back lines there. Crims, he can't quite see it, and I think Kenny's also on the other side of the wall there. He's not behind the truck just yet. So we're going to see who's going to be the least patient here.
Oh, this is such a small detail that Cribs can't see this. So Kenny being very patient, just waiting for it. Now he hears the sound cue. So this might prompt Kenny forward, but he's going to wait for the bomb. So Crims has that decision if he wants to actually go chase it down or if he's just going to plant.
Oh, and look at this, already walking up Kenny. Now losing patience, going to miss the shot, and Crims will take him down for the double kill. And that's going to tie up the scoreline at 5-5. I mean, it could have gone either way. He actually goes before he hears the plant sound, right? He just decides now is the time for it. That could have been a great move.
Well, he was gambling the whole time, right? It was kind of like who's going to call the bluff, and then as soon as that plant noise comes out, and while that's a big one-on-one to win, Dennis opening up that site, those 2 kills he got, that's a very dangerous crossfire that Envy had set up, and Dennis blows it apart.
Now, you mentioned something in passing before the pause here, and that was that it seems like Olof is sort of playing alone and the rest of the team somewhere else. That was the same that round. I'm wondering if Envy are going to start to catch on that's the case. You know, as soon as they find Olof, they know the rest of the team must be somewhere else. JW goes down, and this time actually he is the lone man, and Olof making an opening into the B-bomb site, which makes it a 4-on-4 with flusha in the drop, and he's already been found. I have no idea how Olofmeister got that kill, but it turns it into a 3-on-3 with the bomb about to go down.
Yeah, this is a good round from Fnatic so far, and now into this 3-on-3. A nice switch up from Envy by putting Kenny over towards the A side, catches JW off guard early, and there's Crims. Great position on the platform. That's going to be huge, and he's doing it perfectly. A nice headshot onto Apex, and he is controlling this bomb site, preventing this retake, and in a 1-on-2, Happy does not have any options left.
No, this is almost impossible to actually manage. He's got no grenades either. He's going to be running into the crossfire, and he ends up going down. Very well played by Fnatic. No one challenging alone, just, you know, peeking for information every once in a while. So that's a 6th round for the Swedish team here.
Look at this position. This is such an important position to hold as terrorists once the bomb gets planted. If you have a player on the platform like that, so many different angles he can toy with, so much, I mean, just that one box provides cover from so many different places that you can really isolate fights. And he even supports Dennis. Even though Dennis falls, it's essentially a bait just so Crims can get an easy kill. He knows he's got that second player out in the open, knows exactly where he is, and he's the power in preventing that retake.
Look at this. I'm wondering if Fnatic realized that actually Envy are caught here, because flusha's in first with a MAC-10, and somehow Kenny doesn't get that kill. That should have at least been the one. Now Apex out in the open. Got to be very careful here. flusha pushing past the smoke. He's finally going to be going down, but there's a lot of backup here. What a shot from Apex to take down JW, and a little bit more backup has come in as well. Olofmeister does get 1 kill in return, but they've got more men on the bomb side. Still, Olofmeister doing the work, and Devil is going to be the last man left here. 1-on-3, and somehow Fnatic, they make this push work even if Envy were actually pretty quick with their rotation.
Well, you could see the thought process of Fnatic when they took over that bomb site. flusha goes in way, way far ahead, and everyone else, the rifles, stay back and just wait for the rotations, wait for players to show themselves. That's a sick nade. And Devil, not long for this world. Crims goes around the smoke and finds him in the end. 7-5, and that actually breaks EnVyU again. They had a couple shotguns that last round, so they couldn't really do too much.
You gotta wonder how much is decided in that first fight. You know, if Kenny straight gets the kill and then falls off the wall, probably it's gonna be difficult. You see the reaction as well, he's not happy.
Oh, and then Apex is there to back him up as well. So yeah, that one missed kill, that's all they needed, especially when you consider 2 of the players rotating. One had a Mag-7, one had an auto shotgun, and what are you gonna do at that kind of a range against the AK-47s?
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing that we haven't talked about. I mean, that auto shotgun is great in the drop or close to the plateau, but for retaking, it's a different matter. Oh, but look at this, NBK and Kenny, 1 kill each in the space of a couple of seconds there. Leaves Fnatic in a 3-on-5, and they even have the Bison there in play on flusha.
And they lost an anti-eco round earlier in this half already, so losing 2 would be incredible. This could be a very strong half for Fnatic, but a couple mistakes in these rounds might just punish them. It'll be interesting to see if they can recover from it, especially as flusha leads this way. Devil right beneath, and Envy doesn't have to play aggressive anymore. They can play this more passively, just as they are. Wait for them to commit into the bomb site.
Oh, this is a round, I think, where Envy really wish they had 3 armors instead of just the 2 there, or 5 as well. So, because this Bison is not good against armor, but on armored targets, you see it shooting right through, just chews them up there. Dennis helping out a little bit. He's going to be going down off flusha with a random kill. And again, no head armor on MBK, and there's none on Apex either. This Bison is actually the perfect weapon to deal with this round. and it's almost a bit tragic. So triple kill there. I feel like if they had armor and head armor then, that would have been a different round.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I said they could play passive, but that almost, you know, once the execution came in, felt too passive. There's so many, I mean, Devil was close up the platform still, tried to find a timing, not a bad idea, but the rest of Envy, even with that salvaged AK, everyone, they had 3 members pretty much grouped around the double doors and the rock, and that's only one angle that Fnatic has to worry about. That's the big thing when you have these numbers, when you're up in a 5-on-3 with pistols, make them fight at different angles, make them have to clear so many different positions, and Envy kind of made that easy on them to get back into the round.
Well, double AWP is what we're seeing here out of Envy, and it's been discussed a couple of times now if it's worth it to do it on the CT side here. But I mean, they just need one more round, and I think they'll be home safe. I think 6 rounds is a pretty respectable number if you're playing Fnatic on this map. So if they can make it work, and Kenny's certainly been hitting shots with it.
And Happy's got it too, and I know there's a couple analysts, I know Henry G especially, who laments the fact that double op setup on this map is not as effective as it is on others. But this is the first time they've brought it out, so Fnatic may not be prepared for it, especially considering I don't believe Kenny's played with an AWP in the chicken coop like Happy is at the moment at this B bomb site. So if Fnatic, which it does look like they're poised to hit this B bomb site, they have a real danger ahead of them.
Is this a setup that Virtus Pro love to use as well? Happy with a really good kill there and taking down Olofmeister, and maybe the fact that it hasn't been used too much is one of the reasons Olofmeister wasn't quite expecting it. So a bit of trouble now for the Fnatic team. They really cannot let Envy back into this game here, especially because they don't have that much money for the upcoming 15th round. And Devil hiding in the corner, no one checking it. And all on Flusher here, 1 versus 4, and it's just not going to happen. Happy picking up a triple kill and making it 6-8. And going into the last round of the half here, I mean, it's Kenny on 13 kills. He's tied with Olof, and then Crim's actually top fragging at 14.
Which is good to see, because Crim's, it's been mentioned a little bit in this kind of period that Fnatic has had as Olofmeister comes back from his injury. He's been picking things up, but he has been a little bit quiet, you know, in certain stretches of this year so far. So him leading the way bodes well, but now they have the 6 that you said they would like to have. Well, they have a chance to get towards 7. They're going to go against that shotgun of JW and the UMP of Flusha. So they have an advantage here. And this time it's going to be Crim's the first one to be aggressive, and the nade comes out and does massive damage, and Envy's been throwing that grenade pretty frequently. A little bit surprising that Fnatic hasn't caught on to that.
Now they're fast in again. Devil picking up one more shot. He's got back up from Happy as well. Almost a double there, but actually it turns out in favor of Fnatic, especially as Dennis going to be picking up the kill there on NBK. It looked like they shouldn't have been that successful because they were pretty much just trading even early on. Now it's all on Apex here, and there's obviously no saving. He's going to go for one flashbang and hope for a miracle. He's through the smoke, and Dennis will shut him down with a good triple kill, making it 9-6 in favor of the Swedes early on here. So a bit of a weird first half, I would say. It could have been much, much better for Envy. It could have been worse too.
Pretty aggressive from Fnatic as well. You know, think back to the pistol round and some of the rounds they executed after that. Very aggressive, trying to get up A quickly, which we don't often see these days. So they brought a little bit of diverse speed into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how it goes. Going into the second half, it'll be right after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we've got Fnatic and Envy, and also, as you can tell there, Semler on Twitter saying apparently he's allergic to apples, and he ate one before the show and now lost his voice. I've never heard about that.
Listen, we've always known Semler was a little bit of a princess, even Snow White.
Yeah, but you know, look at this here. He certainly is very pretty, and we do, I think, have a bit of a live feed of what's actually happening. Oh no! Oh no!
What have they done?
His tweet said an apple, but you know, obviously it was more than that. You know,
it's like 6 or 7 apples, just gluttonous.
I think the phrase "all things in moderation," right? I think that's the actual Greek.
There was nothing moderate about that photo.
Absolutely not. Well, he looked to be in high spirits, so hopefully he'll be back soon enough. We do have the 16th round coming up here. Envy showing a bit of fight. I think it could have gone even better. They won a really big eco round that they managed to turn around. Fnatic looking strong, looking confident, I would say. And maybe at times a little bit too much. We'll see if Envy can make this work on the T side. They have got Happy with the tech line and the armor, so that's going to be the big player to defeat right here. Can do a lot of damage, especially close range in the drop. He's already going to be down and running into JW. Apex going to be dropped now. Happy coming around the corner, and he has to do a lot of work with this pistol, otherwise it's not going to be worth it. Devil going down to Dennis, and he's firing more bullets. Finally, Happy comes into play, and he will be taking out Dennis, and that's a big start, but all of us hiding in the corner. Fnatic, they've got almost no health left. They've got to hit the headshots right now. There's Happy going down, and all on NBK, no bomb plant, and in a 1-on-2. He's only got the Glock right here, and 33 health, and they're playing this one so well. They're really staying hidden and out of sight, and now they're both in the same exact lineup here, so it's going to be real tricky switching it up, and JW to take him down. I love the movement from Fnatic. Every time it looked like NBK was looking away, they were moving around behind his field of view.
Listen, this is that Fnatic hive mind we've always talked about. I mean, it's perfect play there from Fnatic in that pistol round because they have the 2 players at drop. They have 1 player at statue and 1 in the chicken coop way in the back. And when pressure is put onto the players at drop and they have to fall away to the doors, they stop fighting players coming, trying to attack them at a drop. They allow the players at statue and chicken coop to take that fight at range to distract them a little bit. They kind of juggle the aggression, and then you can just see Olaf Meister and JW staying alive, not even trying to get the killing blow, just trying to chip away at him, and just all importance on staying alive.
Oh, what a nice shot, though. So Apex going down, and again, we see that auto shotgun in play in the drop. That's very interesting how that has suddenly become a thing. I swear if you asked the players, you know, 3 months ago and said, would you consider doing this? Everyone would have said, no, that's ridiculous. We wouldn't do that. And it just takes one person to show that it works, and then everyone does it.
Yeah, I mean, between JW and Flush, I think it was, oh, this is aggressive, and JW's going to see too, but he doesn't even get damage, and now they're going to go right after him. They suck him into the trap and take them both down. Crimson JW with very nice play, and Olaf should be a couple easy kills for him. NBK and Kenny fall 11-6 now.
WMP, auto shotgun, P90, just 1 M4, you know. What is happening?
Why not?
It's one of those things where, oh, that's a great shot, isn't it? Nice camera angle. It's one of those things where you just gotta wonder if teams keep doing this. One day will someone be brave enough to call them on it, and then buy, you know, tech line armor and around like this and just try and win it. You know, if enough teams keep doing it, if the metagame changes so that you can reliably count on the idea that the second round is always going to be filled with all these weird guns and not M4s.
Well, the big thing as well is with these guns, even just a couple kills, obviously the bonus money is huge, but the big thing now with the CT sides, especially with the UMPs, and this is no secret, they're viable to bring into the 4th round. So, I mean, even if you're going to be going against Tech 9 and Armor, no point in not investing in it, because with the armor pen that it has, it's entirely viable to go up against an AK in certain positions. Even the auto shotgun, like we saw in the first half, having it in drop, you can make that work in the 4th round and get a free upgrade to an AK-47. And in a game where the economy is so fragile, especially in the sense that it's so one-sided fragile for the CT team, always important to like have these kind of economic, you know, advantages.
Dennis almost walking with his back turned into the middle. Pretty good double spray coming in from Flusher, and you can see him slightly panicked there trying to stay alive. And Dennis gonna avenge him real quick with that P90, picking up 2 kills in what looked like a fairly easy round coming out of Fnatic. That's gonna make it 12-6 as the Swedes are doubling the round score of the Frenchmen. But now, we've got Kenny with the AWP. How should they use him here, Moses? Should he be sort of the guy left behind to try and cover the bomb once it's down? Or should they try and let him open some of these bomb sites?
I think there's a couple ways you can do it. Towards each bomb site, there are places you can put him to pick. He can support players if they want to clear out the A halls. Right now, he's headed towards the B bomb site, so maybe take up a perch to see if anyone is going to get aggressive on this B platform from Fnatic, if the op is going to try and peek that angle. But once the hit comes in, it is the op in that platform position that he talked about in the first half so important. And look at this clever angle. That smoke just plumes in time to cover Olafmeister, but he goes for the spray, and NBK sees the tracer, so a good punish.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues. Again, if you're new to the game, you might not realize, but if you were shooting with the M4A1 instead that has the silencer on, it won't make those traces with the smoke, so you're a little bit more safe. But even at this level, a lot of these angles are well known. It's still a risk, I would say.
It's a risk with both guns, absolutely. Especially that early on in the round, because now you have Kenny, whose entire goal with this op is to find a pick. Well, he doesn't even need to do anything. Now they can just kind of wait this round out, and there's good aggression from Apex, and he's going to keep the pressure up, as is his style. He finds another headshot onto Crims. Dennis completely blind, and it's all collapse for Fnatic. Envy swarm the bomb site, and so quickly they take everything from Fnatic.
I mean, that flashbang into the drop was perfect. You could see that there was... JW couldn't see a single thing there, so he was just shooting into the wall for no reason. Flusher here, and actually he looked like he was in a really good position, but he just managed to not spot out Happy, and that was the end of him. That's going to make it 7-12. There is money on Fnatic, except for Dennis, so they're going to even it out and buy on everyone here. But that looked like a really confident round. Look how well that flashbang worked.
And then this is just Apex, his type of play. Keep going. You don't stop until you die or you've killed everyone. And he gets 2 there to open up that site for Envy. All off the back. And now, I mean, this is where we talk about those economic decisions that Fnatic makes in the first couple rounds. Still have plenty of money to buy despite losing that with a very, very big investment. Even an op is bought up again in this round. Shotgun on JW. That's going to be in drop. And Flusher with the UMP. He's over towards the A bomb site.
We haven't really seen too many attempts from anyone over at A-Long or anything trying to peek out. You know, I feel like during the major, that was more of a theme where people try and be a bit more aggressive. Now, maybe that's just because it's a LAN environment and there's more on the line. You know, you want to win that major title, so you try and take a few more risks. But either way, it's I really like that style. I wish it'd come back a bit more. Apex once again showing how good he is at opening up. There's a second headshot coming through. Finally going to be taken down by Olaf, who's in a lot of trouble right here behind the fountain, trying to stay alive. Flashbangs are in it. If he walks too far out the left, he's going to be shot down by Happy anyway. Olaf trying to make it work, but there was Happy with the kill and the follow-up, which leaves Dennis alone. So what a great round here from Envy once again.
Listen, this is going to be a really rough half for Fnatic if Apex is going to consistently get these 2 kills as he enters out drop. That's a huge position if he's going to have that kind of success. I would expect Fnatic is going to put emphasis on stopping him in the next gun round. But also, even despite those 2 kills, you always have to have that fear that Olaf at that statue, plenty of cover that he can make some kind of a play to pull him back into the round. So it was great pressure put on him by Envy as they enter into the site. Even after those 2 kills, Olaf is constantly flashed, constantly worrying about pressure from 2 different angles, and just could never get comfortable to make a play.
Right now, it's only a 4-round gap, and again, we were just at 12-6, now we're at 12-8, and Fnatic are out of money, and this is going to be a theme from now on. You know, every other round, more or less, is going to be a save for Fnatic unless they can really do a lot of damage or get some good kills in here. Got the deagle on Dennis, and he's going to be sneaking up on the far side, but the rest of Envy look like they're not really going to be waiting. They're already pushed onto the plateau and trying to look for some openings. Little jump there. EnVyUs not being tricked into going for too much of a peek here. Instead, going to make a jump of his own and spot out. If you can see Olafmeister back there, Crim's going to be going down, and he can't get back. I think he was being blocked by Kenny. What kind of teamwork is that? Now Dennis going to be all alone. Moses, how much does that trigger you if that happens in the game?
It's pretty frustrating. Definitely, if in this team environment, though, Fnatic will be able to shrug it off. It is, after all, just an eco round. If that happens during like a critical gun round, that's when you start to see really the stress come out. But just the pistols, they'll probably laugh it off. But this is now the round where Fnatic has to figure out how to stop Apex, because the 2 gun rounds that Envy have won have been off the back of him getting that double kill coming out of drop. Fantastic. Yeah. And the thing about Apex, he's a player who just builds momentum and just snowballs into this unstoppable force. If he continues to have that success moving forward, he's just going to get stronger and stronger towards the end of this match.
I've always thought of EnVyUs as like the captain of this team, but this time it was Kenny behind pushing him forward, saying, get out of the trench. There's no going back now. It's pretty brutal there on the French side.
This is a good switch up. Now they're putting no one in drop. This is just going to be a very quick execute towards the B platform.
big risk, and the reward would have been there if they'd gone A, but right now in the B bomb side, Olaf has got to pull out some of that magic. He's got Crims there as well, who's been playing good so far. Olaf going to get a kill on Crims too, so it is still a 3-on-3. Dennis is starting to rotate in. Flusher actually could have maybe tried for a flank around, but he decides to go the regular way back towards the connector middle, and we'll see if this can work out. Happy is one step away. Easy kill there for Happy. He's going to be going down to Dennis. There's still more than a minute left here. No bomb plant has happened yet. Dennis very low on health. He's just one bullet from death, and especially with an AWP. Kenny was jumping when he got that shot, it almost looked like. So that's a little bit ridiculous. Flusher. Smoke, I think, saved his life then, in fact. And he's going to be in a 1-on-2 trying to see if he can make this work. He's already spotted out MBK and very nearly got the kill on him. This is... I don't know if there's any right or wrong way to play this way, but it's very hard to do this.
Kenny has 2 flashes and a smoke, so I'm not sure why he's not using those to help NBK get into the bomb site, but either way, he's being patient with the op, and he's just saying, let that smoke fade away, and then I can cover you instead of using this utility. Just now, he puts up the smoke. Flush is relocated over towards drop, so he's got a chance to get out, and I don't think they spotted that.
No, and Flusher is historically one of the players that's very good at doing this stuff, but oh, what a shot coming out. Kenny taking down Flusher. Let's see if he can... He actually spots the head of Dennis there, then he jumps up and just instantly scopes. That's not an easy shot to hit.
Did Flusher like get distracted by a flower pot? I swear when he turned that corner, he blew up a flower pot, and he thought it was like a body to shoot at or something.
Well, the thing is, there are a lot of players now that will actually hide right under them, right? People sort of sit crouched and sort of look under. So I'm wondering if that's what he was worried about, or
just pre-firing and just checking to make sure he's not there.
Maybe paranoid a little bit. That would have been sort of a classic round, I almost feel like, for Flusher to win. He is good in those 1v2s.
Well, now Fnatic, this is going to start being a little bit scary, because Envy, that's a couple tactics now. They just outplayed Fnatic in that round, where they had some pressure on drop, but just instead it's a switch of the pace. Smoke comes out towards platform. Olaf's in the open trying to find something, and a flashbang hits him in the face and forces him back. So that defense from Fnatic that likes to be aggressive has been forced to be so passive in these last couple gun rounds. And despite winning both pistols, Fnatic, they're about to lose the lead here. Envy's very, very close to evening this up.
Couple of flashes being banked off the side of the building there, trying to see if they could force someone to peek into Happy. And again, I love the fact that they're just using him right now as the tool with which to get into the bomb sites. Again, he's just got the Mac 10, so it's not a big loss. Does end up going for a double kill, and actually no, triple overall.
Look at how low those 3 players are, though. Kenny, Happy, and Apex, the 3 combined at probably under 30 HP. So very, very close to a scary round. Guns coming out again for Fnatic. And they have an AWP as well. They have the full losing bonus now, so that kind of cycle of buy, save might start to, it can start disappearing a little bit.
I'm still so confused about the fact, because Fnatic have been doing exactly what Envy did as well over at the A side. They have people sort of fairly far up on the A side or middle, but when the push happens in B, none of them decide to flank around. They all just go back. There's no attempt to be aggressive at all on that A side of the map, and that is starting to actually annoy me a little bit.
Well, the reason why there's not much, I don't think, is because Envy hasn't really gone there yet. This is the first round we've really seen them place any players that look like they want to be aggressive. And, of course, it's going to be Apex, who likes to lead the way. See if he can entry. That's a missed Molotov, though. That's going to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'm not even sure where that would have gone if it had worked, but I'd be interested to see it. Maybe it stays airborne long enough to fall back on the other side. Wouldn't count it out. A lot of jumping. Oh my god, and Flusher gets the return. There's absolutely no explaining none of that. It just happened. Just accept it.
Yeah, I didn't see him on that screen, so I think he was just firing away. Why not? Flusher wins it anyways. And now it's on Happy. He's got to get a little bit more aggressive with the lurk, but he misses the timing. JW almost gets caught with a nade out, but that is massive damage. An outplay from JW brings Happy down to 19.
Dennis is in the corner. The Molotov's going to go the other way, and Dennis going to be smirking a little bit, but not for long as MBK does turn around. Olaf with the AWP shot to drop him. We'll see if he can stay alive. He was in this position just a couple of rounds ago where they're going to come from either side of the fountain, and he does pick up the kill on Devil. Bomb is now out in the open, and there's only 30 seconds right now. Fnatic have a real good chance of doing this. Happy going to take up one more kill. He's low on health, but still posing a threat here to the Swedish side. They're going to try and see if they can move up. Somehow Happy makes it across, even if that smoke was imperfect. And Kenny going to look for the shot here, trying to make it back in, just not going to happen. And Fnatic finally winning a round here in the second half. It's been a while now. That was 5 rounds in a row for Envy.
And there it is. There's a small mistake, in my opinion, on Kenny there. It felt the pressure to try and support his teammate getting the bomb planted. He gives up that critical spot. We've mentioned it a couple times in this matchup, staying on the platform for the post plant. With that off especially, such a strong position where you're able to use that box perfectly.
Look at this Molotov. All right, what are we seeing?
Yeah, I don't know where would that. I think that was planned to bounce off the walls and go onto the haystack to the right to maybe clear that out.
I think that was the plan, yeah. And then there's the air actually catches fire somehow. It's very confusing overall. I don't think we should go into the Counter-Strike physics at that point in time, but yeah, that was. I'd love to see that work. I've actually tried myself to find different ways of doing that, but not been successful so far. 3 men on the B bomb side. It seems like Fnatic are really tired of losing of this to this B push for Envy. That seems to continuously happen. I mean, at what point do you just put 5 members on there and just go for it?
Fnatic could do it. I mean, you have to stay honest and put keep someone at A. But I mean, they could have done it now. And now Olafmeister a little bit blind, but he's in the chicken coop. There are Molotovs to force him out here, but he bides his time. 3 quick kills, and there's a 4th for Fnatic. So Envy has been shut down. It's just happy. And this is what's often criticized, this kind of style where he's very slow. He is top frag in this match, we should say, but it is rounds like this that make you realize when the rest of his team doesn't have success, it just looks a little bit awkward for Happy, where he's in a 1-on-4. You know, it works perfectly when they get a couple kills onto that bomb site and he can exploit some rotations, but when they don't, and this is true for every lurker, it just kind of it turns a little flat.
It does, and I think it also becomes the source of a lot of criticism for him as a player, sort of personally. People say, well, you know, why aren't you helping out your team and all that stuff? I actually had a long conversation with Happy last time we were here about this very sort of issue, and he doesn't seem too phased, but he seems like he's fairly chilled out about it. There was some alcohol involved, so I don't know if that was the reason why everyone was so relaxed. But actually, it did sort of change my mind a little bit because at least in Happy's telling of the story, the rest of the team is perfectly in on this setup. You know, it's not something that Happy's like, you go forth my minions and I will be there to clean it up, you know.
The crazy thing about those situations is people sometimes forget that's exactly what NIP looked like before Threat kind of joined the team, was oftentimes GetRight would be employing the same style of lurking.
Yeah.
And if his team doesn't have success on the other side of the map, there's nowhere for him to really make a move, make a play. So he would often be left in those 1-on-4 situations. So it looks just as silly no matter who's doing it. It's just a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance for that particular position.
Well, I mean, even in the much famed 87-0 streak that NIP were running, I mean, throughout that, the absolute ultimate NIP era was when they were running that same strategy. You know, there's just GetRight and Forest is like the 2 really good backup players, and especially GetRight. So maybe there's some historical precedence to show that might be a viable thing. I would love to see that grenade again, but it looks like we're not going to have it. Instead, flashbang to force Flusher back. Running into the wall like that is so dangerous. That is exactly what gets you killed.
Yeah, one quicker, half-second faster of a push from NBK or Kenny, and Flusher more than likely falls, so he gets around just in time. Apex, he's gone back to what has worked previously in this half. Coming out drop, seeing if you can get the entries. Crims pre-fires it. Now he hears him fall. Olafmeister is on platform with the AWP, so at any point he can just peek over and eliminate Apex from the map.
Apex, he's had a lot of success here in drop, trying to open it up this time. It's a bit more messy. He takes just about as much as he gives there. And now flashbang in. Crim's going to be able to take him out. Really well played by him. Kenny, sorry, that's Flusher picking up a kill there. NBK and Apex already gone down, looking for another one, and he's going to actually shoot right on the Devil, who jumps over the shot, and Kenny helping out to take down JW. Bomb is down, and it's a 2-on-2 here. Crims and Olaf have to try and see if they can retake this and get themselves onto map point. Did Devil see the gun barrel? I'm not quite sure if he does. Very hard to spot from our point of view here. Olafmeister goes down, and now it's all on Crims. 1 versus 2, and what great team play coming out. Envy flashbang into the peak there, and that's going to be a 12th round.
Devil has so much faith in Kenny in that situation. Just hold that angle and prevent anyone from Fnatic to rotating close to that bomb site. So you can see how conservative he plays in the site, not peeking anything, not exposing himself too much, just making sure he can stay alive.
You know, I feel like actually I think everyone was sort of criticizing Devil early on, but I didn't see much hope even for improvement. I didn't see many things where I thought this is going to get any better at all. And he was also very quiet. He looks like he was sort of a little bit drawn in, you know, like a little bit reclusive almost maybe. Seeing him screaming like that and being at the center of the team and active That's actually quite encouraging, I think. I like it. 12 to 14 is what we're looking at here, and a great shot. olofmeister going down to Kenny, and Happy opening up as well. There is only pistols here on the Fnatic side, but still, Envy are getting very close right now. Remember, they did already win 5 rounds in a row earlier in this half. They could do it again and straight win the map here.
Yeah, and actually, Fnatic wins 2 in a row, but you know, just losing 1, they hadn't really built up that much of a bank. So right back onto the pistols.
I have to confess, Moses, that there is some part of me that really wishes that Happy had sort of engineered and masterminded this team to be all sort of his minions, and then he could sort of look like the superstar every time. There's just something fundamentally evil, but also hilarious about that situation.
I mean, this is what they were when they won the major as LDLC, right? Where he was, you know, the big star player of this team.
Yeah.
He was the one putting up the massive numbers, playing the same kind of style, the same kind of lurk style. So, I mean, maybe they've gone back a little bit to what works, but now they also have Kenny, who can be the star on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and I think they even said, didn't they, that they actually would try and make Kenny more of a star and have him play like a bigger role. So certainly working out right now. They're 1 round away from equalizing here. The terrorist side has been good for them so far. JW really wanting to take that fight, and he's already done a lot of damage. So Apex is going to go for it, and the timing is almost perfect. Almost walks in as Apex is about to fall off the ledge then, but they're still going to win the fight against him. Happy showing up to help out.
A little bit over-aggressive from JW. I don't think he realized until it was too late that there were 2 members there. So Apex, he takes a lot of damage, but he falls away, and it's Happy who kind of starts taking the mantle of that initial contact there. So JW's thinking if he just lands 1 more bullet, he gets the kill, but it wasn't the case, and he does fall.
And now where do they go with it, Envy? They've shown themselves already to favor that B-bomb side so much. What a kill coming through. Flusher, that must have been mid-air as well on Devil. He didn't even get the chance to get his feet on the ground. Dennis holding strong up here with Crims helping out. This is a big round right now for Fnatic, and they need to win a good kill coming in. And Kenny again getting taken out mid-air, which leaves it on Apex, and another grenade raining in. I was going to say it would have been tough, but especially when they're going to bomb him.
Yeah, that's just a nice Fnatic defense. Dennis on the stairwell, he takes the first fight, tries to time the op shot so he can peek. A good shot hit by Apex, but then Olaf is there to pick up. And so there's just so many bodies being thrown at this because they have such an advantage that when Envy, even though they're trading these kills, there's no progress being made ever. So that buys that time. Fnatic comes over, the rotations finally get in. Perfect nade. And that's the cleanup kill onto Apex, who took the early damage from JW. So a good way to end the round for Fnatic. And now they're on match point. Envy's got to win 2 in a row to take it to overtime.
Not impossible, but also this is where the pressure really starts to mount. You realize now that any mistake is going to cost you the map, and even if the maps did work out fairly well. Oh no!
That is incredible. What a beautiful nade stack from Fnatic.
Apex, just, I would say brave, but maybe also a little bit too much.
I mean, that is, you love to see those kind of nade stacks because you don't often see them work, but just 2 nades on a fully armored Apex, and that's a lot of the early strength in these rounds for Envy, just out of the fight. And do they expect JW to be here as well?
Well, he's been here so many times, it's almost mad if they don't, but actually looked like Happy was looking the other way. JW has had at least 4 rounds where he stood right in this position and jumping. Oh no! Kenny gonna be out of the round. JW with a flying max 7 to drop him. And this might just be it here. It's a 5-on-2, and finally we see that lurk that we were talking about earlier with Dennis walking in from behind and Devil going to be the last man left here in a 1-on-5. Fnatic for the first map here. It's going to be all them 16-13. A close game, and I think closer than most people were expecting, but ultimately it will be the Swedes coming out on top.
That jumping mag 7, you could see it coming. You could kind of, you were just like, it's JW. Is he going to do it? For a couple seconds. This nade stack is so cool to see, and that's obviously that they have the placement down so that it bounces off that wall and right at him. That's really, really well done. Clever from Fnatic, and this was just beautiful.
There has to have been at least a millisecond before Apex gets that second ready. When he hears it bounce behind him, he's like, oh.
I have made a huge mistake.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what a first map it was. Fnatic ending up with 16 rounds and Envy at 13. So close indeed. We'll see if it's going to get better on map 2. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yes. So welcome to Game Break, brought to you by Sausage Party in theaters August 12th. So let's break down a classic piece of Counter-Strike. We're going to do it with Puckett and Thorin. Yes, he is here. Semler's still recovering from his allergic reaction.
You know what they say? An apple a day keeps the Semler away.
Definitely does, mate.
It's just one.
Allergic to work, of course, the Semler story. So let's get straight into this. You know, it was actually a really good game, and I think it showed, you know, that we've weeded out some of the lesser teams, and we're getting high-quality Counter-Strike here. This was very back and forth, guys.
Yeah, both good terrorist teams on this map, so we know they can both put together a big stretch, but it was actually the work they both did on CT side that really made the game come alive, because EnVyUs looked on that first half like they'd gotten enough rounds. I really thought they were going to win this game, but Fnatic, they found a way to stop that B push. And one thing I think maybe was a mistake from EnVyUs is when they were on their T side, they didn't really make a lot of use of KennyS. It was a lot of like fast attacks. There was a lot of grouped attacks, which normally would probably just work better with rifles. They never really set him up Guardian style to get any picks, you know. So as close a game it was, I feel like that has to be one of the X factors that kind of didn't win the game for EnVyUs.
Yeah, Puckett, what did you notice?
You know, I think it really came down to the clutches. It was 5-4 after the first pause, and we saw Crims, a one-on-one versus KennyS, wins that one. They go on to win out for the rest of the half, basically other than one round. Then in the second half, a big 2-on-2 in round 24. Olaf and Crims coming up clutch once again, this time against Kenny and Happy. And I think that was kind of the difference maker. If you look at all of the stats, there's really just one player who didn't keep up, and that's Devil from EnVyUs. He's got to get more frags if they want to win in game 2.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to talk a little bit about Devil, and so we hate to harp on about it, but there are certain, how should we say, recurring storylines. You know, I think, Duncan, overall, you know, Puckett's observations are pretty sound. It was a game that really had one or two key moments that were the difference between victory and defeat.
I mean, they both play a similar style. They play this style. I mean, look, you see just people running in here. There's no pop flashes here. There's no... They put down like the one smoke that everyone does, the one Molotov, but it's not really a lot of tactics. It's people relying on their aim. And unfortunately, you look at these two teams, what's the difference from when EnVyUs used to beat Fnatic? They used to have Kiyashima, who at least was known to be a skilled player. Devil's never really done that when he's been in the team. They've had the fact that they've rotated him to be the in-game leader, which was never something he did before, says to me they're just trying to find something to make use of this guy, because I mean he's under contract, he's a player for them. But you look, everyone else in the server was performing as you'd expect these skills players to, and he was kind of the odd man out. So I mean, coming up short, kind of like Moses on the desk.
We've said this before.
Classless joke.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, we've said this before about Devil. It's definitely not the first time we've criticized his performance. But you know, you've seen him backstage, Chris. Like he does bring something to the team. You know, he is galvanizing.
What's
them.
he bringing? Teas, coffees, apples, maybe.
Yeah, apples.
And he was the hype man. Even when they were down,
like
he was the one trying to get them back into this one.
Boy, Kenny,
get them sparked.
Get him, Kenny.
At least when he's not getting the frags, he's still paying attention, trying to keep his teammates at a high point. But really, I think you also look at this game, the pistol rounds. If you win a pistol round, you have such a better chance of beating Fnatic here. They kind of shot themselves in the foot both times.
Yeah, well, I think we can sort of compare the two top fraggers as well. It's your man Happy again. Now, he very regularly top frags on EnVyUs. You say, Duncan, that he sort of has manufactured the team, so he just can do that,
I mean,
right?
he did in the past, like the old EnVyUs one where it was LDLC particularly, that was the style that brought them success. I mean, that team didn't have KennyS though, notably.
But look at his ADR here. This suggests that this was a meaningful performance.
A lot of entry frag, a lot of echo frags, was using a Mach 10 quite a lot. And I have to say, this was like a good performance. It wasn't a star performance for me though, because a lot of the rounds they lost, I mean, he would just be left, no pressure on the map, lurking, 1v4, 1v3, and that's the scenario where I feel like this is the key point to make. This guy could do so much more for the team. If he does everything he does up to this point, but on those few rounds, he had some pressure, he goes into the dropper when they're going off the platform, that's when they probably either win a round or he opens up a chance for one of his teammates to win a round, where at the moment, he's leaving his guys playing 4v4 on sites when they could be going splits onto his site, and he doesn't really do that. So it was a good performance, certainly. I don't think this was a game where anyone carried. It was a very even performance across the board from everyone, I thought. So solid enough from him, I think.
Yeah, and you can see EnVyUs getting ready to come back, which means it's time for us to take a break. Thanks for your thoughts, gentlemen. When we come back, we're going to have Dust 2 in this epic series between Fnatic and EnVyUs. Make sure you join us.
This ELEAGUE Game Break is brought to you by Sausage Party in theaters August 12th. Rated R.
So if watching this game has whet your appetite for some amazing Counter-Strike, make sure you go online and get tickets for our championship weekend, July 29th to the 30th at the Cobb Energy Center in Atlanta, Georgia. We're definitely going to be there. We're going to find out what teams are going to be there. Go to e-league.com/finals. Tickets still available at the moment. Now, let's get back to this tie. And EnVyUs, one map down. Obviously, Chris deeply upset by that, but it would be a travesty if you got your first prediction on an analysis desk, right? But there's a glimmer of hope here, Duncan, because you were surprised by this Dust 2 pick.
Yeah, I mean, even though the stats here are saying they're 8-3 on it on LAN 2016, the guys from Fnatic, I actually think EnVyUs are the team that are favored on Dust 2 because a lot of these wins for Fnatic were way, way earlier in the year when Olofmeister was pre-injury, and just the whole look of the team was very different. Their map pool has evolved a lot since then. It actually changed during the time Olofmeister was out of the team. So to me, Dust 2 is a map that actually is very middling for them. It's the map that I saw them lose to FaZe on at the Major. So EnVyUs, on the other hand, was, interestingly, they only used to be good with Dust 2 before they had KennyS, when they had Shox in the team. But actually, it's a map where over the last few months, they've been picking up wins here and there, and they've been looking a lot more comfortable on it. So I feel like this is actually a prime map to put KennyS on, put him on that AWP, and have a lot of good chances to win on. So I actually think this is where we'll really see what Fnatic's plan was. Like, they picked this map, remember? So presumably they came in with some sort of an idea of what they're going to do. So if they can win here in 2-0, fair play, I'll give it up to them. They had the kind of the clever gambit there. But if they lose out here and we go to that third map, which we know both teams are strong on, I mean, in that case, I feel like it was a pick ban mistake.
And I think that's the good news for you here, Puckett. This is how you can save some face because I've looked at the numbers. KennyS has had some pretty statistically impressive performances on Dust 2. Meanwhile, this used to be JW's playground. He used to be amazing on this map. We just haven't seen that JW in so long. I mean, he's been MIA for quite some time. So,
well, you know, at the start of this, I said, I think Fnatic's a stronger team, but I'm going to go Envy fanboy here. So I'm just hoping they pull out the win. I think it's going to be on Apex, though. You know, he had some great picks in the first game, great entries, especially at drop. He's got to get some early picks, get some pressure off his teammates' shoulders. But my real question is this guy here, Devil. What can he do differently on Dust 2 that he wasn't able to get going on Cobble? So, I mean, KennyS, of course, everyone's going to be watching his sniper throughout this game, but I don't think he's going to be the player to watch.
Well, hopefully it's better the Devil you don't know, and we see Devil actually turn up and get some kills. Don't shake your head at me, Duncan.
Wish I didn't know that, Devil.
Predictions?
I'll say for, actually, I think EnVyUs is going to take this map.
Puckett, make it 2 for EnVyUs?
Yeah, why not? I said they're going to win game 3.
All right, well, thanks a lot for your thoughts, gentlemen. Now we're going to have our RB's map fly through with the classic Dust 2, and we're going to throw you back to Anders and Moses.
Yeah, questionable wordplay coming out of the desk there. I like it anyway. And we are going to head into map 2. It's Envy and Fnatic here at a best of 3 for the quarterfinals of ELEAGUE. Moses, what do you think? I mean, do you agree with the overall point that maybe Envy would have a real shot at winning this map?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have a shot at it. It's going to lend itself to a lot of strengths. There's a lot of good lurking positions for Happy, who had a good game 1. Obviously, the ops on Dust 2 are very impactful, so Kenny should have a good game. Apex as an entry is always going to have to be important. Olaf, this is the questionable thing. Olaf with the Deagle, and we did see this on Cobble. We mentioned a couple of times that he was playing very, very isolated from his team, off on his own. And actually, Envy gets that kill onto Olaf with the Deagle, and they're going to push right through long, and they're going to have a very, very quick flank.
Yeah, this is almost impossible for Fnatic to predict. This is sort of a counterintuitive play. Normally, if you win a fight like that, you're thinking, great, we're safe, let's just relax. Instead, they go the other way. They actually amp it up and try and see if they can make it in to the B bomb side here. NBK getting overwhelmed, and right now they're just trading JW with a good double kill. It's a 2-on-3 at the moment, and Kenny looking for an opening. They have to go back and pick up the bomb, though. Envy's so quick with the rotation because of that early decision to go out long, and that's a stunning headshot, and JW to follow it up. That's the triple. Now Kenny trying to stay alive, taking a fight, and he gets both the headshots and takes out Fnatic. Somehow, he saves the French team anyway. Triple kill for him.
And what a hero that is, because that was actually a misplay from Envy, having Happy peek out of that box like that. They had it perfectly. They had all 3 members in tunnels. All they had to do was hide and wait for Fnatic to have to go chase down those kills. They peek and give a couple away, Happy and then Devil. And actually, I mean, obviously, JW doesn't know that Kenny's rotated all the way around, because if he hadn't, that bomb would have gone to the other bomb site, and Fnatic would have had a huge advantage. So, nice mobility from Kenny.
Well, now they're going to be out long quick. They did not get the bomb plant, so they have armor and pistols here. Straight headshot coming through from Crims. It looked like, actually, Envy wanted to fight on long instead of just falling back, but that just didn't work out. So, early kill in favor of Fnatic is going to help them a little bit, even if they took a lot of damage.
And now Fnatic can just slow this down. JW actually has a smoke, so they can actually use that for effect. He's got it in mid. They've got to be careful. Happy's going to start pushing up. He's giving himself away. Olaf doesn't commit to jumping up. Now the smoke comes out, but he's caught. Olafmeister maintains the aggression, keeps pushing forward, and now Kenny's got to do it. He's here with the 5-7. He gets 1 kill, falls back 3 HP, and it's also down into a 3-on-3. Fnatic's on catwalk. They're going to keep pushing forward, knowing how low Kenny is.
Oh, one more headshot. Kenny doing so much work, practically taking out 2 players in that round. Well, he did take out 2, but almost a third, in fact. Apex jumping and shooting, never a good idea unless you have a scout, which NBK did. He's still going to be going down, and Apex to fall, and Fnatic, they turn it around. This should have been Envy, and we were talking about this on Cobblestone. Not that much luck in the pistol rounds, but this is upsetting. They finally win one, and then they lose the follow-up round.
I mean, that's a bit of a nightmare. Fnatic just maintains their aggression throughout that. You could see no one from Envy really ever felt comfortable. They always had pressure put on them, and even down into that 3-on-3, you never really saw Envy able to sustain any kind of structure in this defense. They were still moving, still trying to figure out where exactly it was going. And all right, NBK. Why not just return the favor? A nice shot through the wall. And he even tags Olafmeister, so he's doing a massive amount of work. Even Apex dealing some damage here. And Fnatic, they've got some injured players in a 4-on-5.
Oh, he's taking some blind shots, not even bothering to scope up. Why would you? Through the door there, and again, they're so quick. Everyone is outside of this B-bomb side. Devil even rotating through T-spawn, so they know there's not going to be anyone hiding. That means they can safely make it into upper dark. Apex is ready to get in here if he could just spot Dennis' face, and there it is. But Dennis, a little bit quicker. Crim's picking up a good shot there. Finally, Kenny with the reply, but it's not going to be enough here. They do a lot of damage, and that round could have gone out of control for Fnatic, but they managed to hold on.
Sick play from Crims as well. He's the one who turns around and watches the flank, knowing that the B tunnels was very open. So he gets a couple kills there that are critical to prevent Envy from having any chance at a retake. So now, finally, a little bit of danger in that round with NBK doing the damage and the early kill. But now Fnatic can be confident. They're going to be going up against no armor, some upgraded pistols, but you can see the MAC-10 is out for JW. SMG still on Flusha, just going to build up a bank. And now they have what should be a fairly straightforward round. And actually, it looks like they're just going to rush B. They just want to get it over with.
Yeah, hiding in that corner, I mean, you might as well try, but it doesn't seem to be working that well. A sort of a relic almost from 1.6, where actually holding that corner was a really good idea and tended to work out fairly well, but not so much in global offensive. Apex alone, though.
When you're NBK in that position, you just hear all those footsteps and the flashbangs coming out. You know there's just a timer on how long you're going to live. Yeah. It's just kind of like, all right, I'm going to go down any second now.
We'll see if Apex can maybe find one last frag in this round. Obviously, they don't even have a lot of incentive to go and look for him that much. I mean, they could sort of scout around, but they don't need to just run all over the place here. All he has is a pistol anyway, so good start for Fnatic.
Now, one small detail is on that second round that Envy lost, Kenny didn't really invest in too much, so he actually had plenty of money built up moving forward. That's why we're going to see him able to have the AWP with light armor. Because he had even after they had lost that round and everyone was sitting around 1,400, 1,800, he was up at like 3,200. So he's got the money to have this op. He's got money for the flashbang and a little bit of armor behind it. So they don't lose too much into this, fifth round here.
Be interesting to see if Envy are going to try and pull out the double up later on. They did it on Cobblestone and it worked out quite well. Happy got a bunch of kills with one of them. So, I mean, this map definitely lends itself way more to the double up play. So we'll see if that's going to be a feature later on. Looks like a very default spread coming out of Fnatic so far.
Devil out towards long. We have Happy. He's going to be playing the swing position towards CT spawn. He's going to have to pick whether he wants to put his attention on middle or towards that A site. At the moment, he can kind of just pay attention towards middle because Kenny is aggressive on catwalk. He's right at the sandbag. So as soon as Kenny takes a shot and falls back, that's when Happy knows he's got to provide a little bit of support for him. And how effective is Flusha going to be? He's already crossed, and Kenny's got to be very careful of that. And the shoulder peek. Flusha spots him out, though, so just naturally that forces him away because he doesn't have the surprise advantage anymore.
Quite good play from Flusha. I mean, he was never in any danger, it seemed. That flashbang was so well put. Even if Kenny was behind the wall, he still got flashed by it. So that's just a great way of clearing out the core position. Now, Flusha's still up on catwalk. That means they could very easily split B. And look at, Envy would be in a horrible position if that happened.
Well, also, Fnatic's done a great job of putting pressure on B with JW and Olafmeister and Flush on catwalk. That prevents any defense from rotating over towards mid. So now Dennis and Crims, they have every opportunity to just smoke this off, and it's a natural mid-B split. It's going to be very dangerous for Apex and NBK. There's the first kill from NBK, though.
Taking out Dennis, and shot in the back almost then. Kenny goes down, and so does MBK, but Apex is still alive on the side and trying to buy time. Flusher, maybe a little bit too brave, jumping through the window. He is going to be eventually going down, Apex, but Olofmeister, 3 health left. They don't have any HE grenades, though. They actually can't immediately take him out. Flashbang goes through Devil. He can't see a thing to try and help out here. JW will be going down. Now it's a one-on-one. Olofmeister getting the kill on Happy finally, but he should be going down here. The bomb is planted, and no one's defusing it just yet. There's Devil picking up the kill. It's a team ace for Envy, and they will win the round.
Yeah, nicely done from Envy. I don't think that Fnatic was aware there was a second player in that B bomb, so they only ever had to deal with NBK. Apex wasn't really spotted. Even now, doesn't look like he even shot a bullet there to give away his position. So eventually in that 3-on-3, one player comes through the window and is just not ready for that position. So Envy holds on. It looked very, very dangerous because Fnatic did have the jump on them in that split. But plenty of money is built up so they can buy again into this next round.
And again, yeah, crucially also for Envy, only one person surviving in the last round. So, you know, we're talking about the double op. As long as they keep losing 3 or 4 members per round, that's going to be a long way off.
And Dennis had the spawn towards long, so he's got the AWP right now. He's just going to try and go for this pick onto Devil, see if he can grab it. That flashbang's perfect, though, and he takes the shot. Devil jumped over. That Molotov actually isolates it, pushes him forward. He had to run right back through it and loses half his HP. Last round, JW had the op, so it'll be interesting to see if he passes that off eventually.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, there are a bunch of people on this team who can reliably use the AWP, so even if Dennis keeps it, it's not going to be necessarily a bad trade. Olofmeister being allowed very far into the middle without anyone spotting him, and that's dangerous here. This is good information for Fnatic. They know maybe they could use this later on as well. Smoke goes off, and Olof, he might have been spotted there. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, they've got so much mid control and a good little peek in there. Olof goes down. That was NBK helping out. Now up on Catwalk, they do have the bomb and have already taken a fight. Happy going to be going down. Kenny with a big job to do, and he's going to take care of Flusher now. 50 seconds left on the clock here, and a 3-on-3.
Yeah, they're going to have to just play this retake. Dennis trying to get in towards long, and Devil's going to deny him that. The bomb is going to get planted. It's planted for Catwalk. There's a Molotov on JW, so he's got a little bit of utility to delay this plant, but they don't know. All 3 members of Envy are coming Catwalk. One is spotted. JW cannot possibly know all 3 are here, so he's got to check long with that flashbang. And he's going to have a nasty surprise when he peeks up towards the A site.
Yeah, and this Molotov not even going to help him that much. He's going for the spray here and actually somehow fails it. NBK to take him out, and that's another round for Envy, making it 3-3. Again, if he had known, then he could have put the Molotov down immediately. But we've got to remember, we're also playing sort of the, you know, after the instant fade to black patch. Yep. So Fnatic, Envy, they just push up immediately.
Yeah, that one kill, that fade to black denies the information that normally before that patch they would have had. And now you mentioned it earlier, here's the switch into this double op setup. And it's going to be NBK and Kenny who take it. So Happy's not going to be using the second op.
All right, I'm guessing that's positional because they want one of the ops to be in B. It's almost got to be. I'm not necessarily a big fan.
I actually also did hear a couple of rumors after Cologne that NBK was going to be picking up the op a little bit more frequently. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, this is like every time I talk to Dupree, he said that if only he got the chance, he could be the main opera of the team, and I just quietly smile and say yes.
That's your team, Anders. You gotta stomp that out before it begins.
Yeah, that's true. You know, just slap him across the face immediately. Stop it. No, but he is recovering, so you can't, you know, obviously can't
physically abuse him.
No, not just yet. We'll give it a while. NBK and Apex are in the B bomb site, and it looks like a very default setup once again here for Envy. Nothing much being changed out, even with the double orb.
It's a little bit more slow pace from Fnatic. Actually, I mean, a minute left on the clock, just over a minute left in the round, and they haven't really applied pressure anywhere.
Oh, MBK does get the first kill there. Actually, Happy and Kenny are in a bit of an interesting position. The way they're covering sort of mid and catwalk here. That's not something you see every day, but so far it hasn't been tested. Apex going to be pushing up behind. This is brilliant. NBK fires the gun way in the back of Plateau, so Olofmeister's thinking, well, he's just shooting blind, and then Apex peeks right behind, and just great use of sound there, just to fake out Olofmeister a little bit. Happy with a good headshot, and eventually a kill as well. Kenny helping out on Flusher, and now it's all on JW, so this is a great round for Envy right now, and it looks like they're really starting to come into their own here on the CT side.
Yeah, this has been a great hold. They really didn't have anything to worry about in this round. Kenny, nicely done from Carr, and yeah, I agree. I love this play from Apex. Normally when you have an op in this position that NBK is in, it lets you rotate players out of that B bomb site. The second player can play a little bit more free, so you can have more attention on middle. So that's kind of the assumption Olaf is making when he's nonchalant like that holding a grenade. He's saying, okay, they have an op far back, and he's going to be there alone. But Apex just kind of surprises him, catches him off guard. So Envy take the lead 4-3. And this double op setup initially looks strong, but now that Fnatic knows it's on the board, you know, how do they counter it next? Because that's the thing. Now that this defense has been spotted, this is where Fnatic can just try and counter it.
Good kill from Apex. Again, the MP9 picked up in anticipation of the fact that they wouldn't have any armor, and that was a correct guess. But the Deagle is still pretty powerful, so Apex just going to get the one kill in the round. Now in a round like this, I really don't like NBK being alone on the B-bomb side with an AWP, but it doesn't look like he's about to be tested, but it's one of those positions where you could very easily lose a lot of the round here. And well, it will actually be Kenny going to help out. Now they've got both the ops on one side of the map. What is this?
Yeah, I mean, this is just for mid control. It looks, if you just check out the minimap, that it's Kenny and NBK playing in middle. It's actually Kenny and Happy playing together. They want to have mid control. So Happy's going to start getting aggressive now that Kenny's had pressure put on him. He drops Flusha. So now they have the intel of what's going on. Crims has got to fall away as well. So that's a nice defensive setup. It's just a little bit scary with both ops on that side of the map. If they were to lose A somehow, the retake is incredibly difficult, even against pistols.
A little bit of confusion, but eventually it will work out just fine. JW put to rest on that box, and Envy going to survive with both the ops still intact. So that's obviously good news. But yeah, you never know. I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, if they had rushed in, if they had one smoke and they could get close to NBK, that would have been a bit weird.
Yeah, even just one flash out middle that Kenny poorly times looking away. If he's blind and he falls, then all of a sudden NBK is in a really exposed position. But that is one of the things where if Kenny falls there, Happy gets way more aggressive. He drops down if they're doing a mid-B split. He tries to come behind quickly. Look at the aggression in JW. He's prepared for it, not fooled at all. Devil trying to respond, but it's NBK who gets the equalizer.
The timing is almost unreal, because if he had peeked a little bit sooner, he would have walked right into the scope. But you could tell that Kenny was thinking, all right, if you're not going to peek middle, I will try and take advantage and maybe go and challenge lower dark. And then the timing just worked out perfectly. But he's also returned upon by NBK, so it's still a 4-on-4.
Fnatic has long control as well, and it looks like Happy is not actually playing in the site, so him and Devil are actually, I believe Devil's got to be on catwalk, so he is. But I mean, that's a situation. Eventually, Devil's going to be forced into the decision: do I watch long or do I push catwalk? You have to make that, because in that position, too many angles for you to stay alive from. He's got to be very careful. Once this smoke fades, he's going to have a decision to make.
And I love the fact that they left all of Meister down here with the AWP. This is sort of like a test of Envy. When they lose long control and nothing much happens there for a long time, eventually someone is going to have to go and see what's actually up. And that's all of Meister wants. You know, come check if we're still here. Because it seems like not that much of a risk to maybe just peek around the corner, but if that's what gets you killed, then that's all they needed, especially now that they're moving in on catwalk. Devil is here, spraying down. They do line up for him, and it's not quite going to be the double kill. Does a little bit more damage, and a grenade there to follow up. Almost takes out Dennis. He's very low on health right now. And Olaf backing up Flusha, who's creeping up long with the bomb. It's still a 3-on-3 with just 20 seconds now. They need that bomb plant. That's going to be Flusha going down. Dennis creeping in. He can't see Apex, and what incredible luck here. Apex getting a real chance, and that's going to be a headshot now. All on Olaf. 1 versus 3, and it's not going to happen. Apex picks up the triple. I can think of any number of ways that round could have worked out different.
I was going to say that round was on a knife's edge for Envy. So many different situations, maybe like a second difference in a couple different situations, and Envy actually loses that round. Either way, it's a good winning streak for them. Apex gets aggressive up ramp. A lot of times you'll see that kind of a situation played out by the CTs. You'll see it a number of times. They'll just give up the site and they'll retake mid, and they'll flank up on catwalk or out towards long. Instead, Envy remains and just takes that fight. So a little bit bold, but it works out. Now we have the Tech 9 armor, the upgraded pistols. There's enough of a losing bonus built up to where they can take this risk, use this kind of economy to try and limit what Envy can build up.
And it looks like they're going to be fairly quick out the catwalk, dropping 2 people down into CT spawn. Kenny has got to be a little bit careful, but I think he's got MBK also in the middle trying to back him up. So again, the AWPs sort of trying to help each other out a little bit. Flashbang, or actually that was a grenade to help out Happy, so no problem for him to get a double kill. Leaves JW and Crims, but they've recovered one of the AWPs, only for a second it seems. JW going to be going down, so no issue there.
I think Fnatic was actually just a little bit surprised that dropping down CT spawn, they saw absolutely no one. It seemed to get a little bit stalled out because they were just like, this isn't right. There's supposed to be someone here for us to kill. And they couldn't find any openings.
And actually, since you bring that up, Envy have had a bunch of rounds where they've had nobody in CT spawn, which is, I mean, normally a position you use, obviously, to try and stop a B split. So now that Fnatic have seen that, maybe they could use that later on for another B split.
Well, they started out this half doing a lot of B splits, and they had a lot of room to work with. And I just think the fact that Envy was able to hold on just barely on a couple of those rounds is very impressive, and that's kind of forced Fnatic away from that tactic. So maybe when they switch back to it later on, if they end up doing that, it could be effective. Now, though, they have NBK. Instead of playing inside B, he's actually more towards middle. So he's going to be taking that fight in mid, and that's perhaps why you see Envy not really playing in that position too much in this half, is because that's a good way to lose one player and now a second and happy.
Big opening here for Fnatic, and they really do need to win rounds. I think Envy, even if they lose all the rest of the rounds, they'll still be a very good half for them. 7 rounds on CT side is definitely not easy to get on Dust 2, so now it's up to Devil and Kenny to just try and save these rifles. I mean, even if they've been winning a good number of rounds, and they could still buy even if they lost both these rifles, but you want as much as you can, obviously. So Fnatic are already out hunting. Crim's alone in the B bomb site, putting the bomb down. Interesting.
Well, that's also the question, is how much is Fnatic going to be dedicated to this hunt? I think if they know that they've cordoned them both off towards long, which it seems they have that idea already, the issue is they don't have very much money built up, so if they lose 3 players in hunting these weapons down, it's really not that much of a win, all things considered.
Just a small point that really irritates me as we're trying to watch Envy save what they can. Pretty good job from Kenny there. That box that Devil is on, when he stands up, he can actually look through part of the texture there. And obviously, with some tournament rules, that's not technically allowed. Now, obviously, he doesn't gain any benefit from it. But I really wish that would be patched out. Just someone textured the other side of that wall for us in the next update. That'd be good.
I'm really not a big fan of how Fnatic handled that hunt for these weapons. It is the T side, so it's a little bit easier to manage your money, but now you're rebuying 3 AK-47s on a run where you just finally, you lost 6 in a row before this. So now if they lose this, it's a reset economy. It's back onto a save. So they've had to actually invest a lot of money into rebuying the weapons that they didn't have to. They had all 5 players alive.
And if you look at the scoreboard, it definitely has a big impact on this round. I mean, we're only in the 12th round starting. If they lose it now, they're probably going to be, well, they might actually just force up, I think, if they lost this round. But either that or a straight eco, they'd definitely be put to the test here. Kenny jumping in, gets legged in transit, and now they're rushing him down. He's trying to get back. They got both the orbs in here, and it's just a favorable trade for the Fnatic team. 2 for 1.
Yeah, there's that double op setup we talked about, how dangerous it can be. There's the smoke on the Molotov just in time. And actually, it almost seems like Fnatic didn't have the intention of being so aggressive towards that B site. It's when they legged Kenny and they just lurked in on him. No one else is here except for Flusha. Everyone else had to go back and get the bomb. That's a good kill. And now JW on Catwalk cutting things off, and it's just down to Devil so quickly. JW sees him as well.
Pretty good grenade, but Devil is still in too much trouble and ends up going down. And I think you're exactly right. The fact that Crims was in T-spawn, that JW was in the middle, it's a pretty good sign that they weren't actually thinking of taking the bomb site, but that just sort of happened anyway.
Yeah, he's like, I legged him, and then so they know that he can't really take a wide angle at that point, so they creep up along the wall, and it's just, I mean, Envy still could have gotten out of that situation if it wasn't the 2 ops in the B bomb site, like we mentioned earlier. If they had an M4 there on NBK instead of Kenny, or instead of the op on NBK, then that might go completely differently.
Envy have evened out their economy in this round, just buying on whoever can. It's not a full investment, but they've certainly invested a little bit into the round here. And again, very aggressive with Dennis running through the smoke. In fact, they're trying to see if they can win the fight against JW, but he's also going to know that there are a lot of people there, so it's pretty easy for Fnatic to make the choice to go towards the B bomb site.
This is, yeah, this is going to be a lost round. The best thing Envy can do at this point, they have the AK on Devil. If he can keep that, that's huge. You could see him hiding out towards long. He's not even progressing across the map anywhere. And this is a round where Fnatic, now they've built up the money, they have a couple round wins. This is where they can actually dedicate a lot of people to the hunt if they want to go find this. But what they have to be careful about is Happy and Kenny. If they're able to get away with some AK-47s as well, that's when the next round starts to get, you know, much more dangerous, because this investment from Envy is going to set them back. But if they have AK-47s, they can also buy the armor and the nades outside of it.
Good little spray there coming out of Flusha, not caught at all by Happy. And Kenny trying to see if he can make it out. He was flashing for Devil. Actually, if Dennis is real smart, he'd realize that's what happened. You'd be like, where did that flashbang go? Crims obviously didn't realize, and Devil gonna be all on his own. Still trying to run out the clock there. Going to be saving the AK. And again, every little bit matters here. 7-6 is the scoreline.
You know, that's probably one of those Kenny might be a little bit frustrated from that just because Devil was probably hearing the footsteps of Crimson saying, hey, flash over so I can peek this, kill him, and stay alive. And it just cost Kenny his entire life because he's just so overexposed. Just a little bit of a bummer when you're trying to be too good of a teammate.
Well, they are flashing out long and running right into Crims there on the corner. Devil going to be going down. Kenny was there with the backup, but it's kind of hard to be backup with the AWP. If you go near that corner and you end up dropping, then there's no one that can save you. Now Kenny's alone, and he's being pushed on from 2 angles and immediately goes down, leaves EnVyK alone to fight the rest. He does get a kill, but I don't think that's going to spark any enthusiasm here to try and win the round. Fnatic going to tie up the scoreline here at 7-7.
And at some point, there was just a switch flip that, you know, Fnatic started winning all these early fights. I mean, look at this round and some of the previous rounds we've seen out of Fnatic. Olaf's still on T-spawn. He hasn't left this. So they're doing this largely without some of the players that they, you know, it's not even a 5-on-5 essentially. So Fnatic is just being so successful in getting that first kill and snowballing. And EnVyK is going to go for this because he knows how far away Olaf is. So Grims had to be very, very careful on how he played that, but he plays it wisely. And he does find the kill in the end. So all tied up now. What looked like a very tough half for Fnatic where they were down so much. It's now brought right back into the equalized favor. 4 straight for Fnatic.
Definitely a very good run for the Swedish team. And just like on Cobblestone, it's actually Kenny doing a lot of the work here. So 15 kills on him. I would consider that a pretty good sign for Envy overall, though, even though he looks a bit annoyed there. Oh, and we've got the auto sniper in play in the middle. Actually, Olafmeister takes a lot of damage, but they did get the kill on Apex, and they're going to be rushing into EnVyK. We've seen him in this position before with the scout, but they're going to push him down, and that's a really good choice, and no issue at all. Fnatic, 1 kill away from making it 8-7, and actually ending up with more rounds than Envy on the first half here.
That's the key to that play, right? When you're spamming those doors, the auto sniper and the op, you send like two players in those B tunnels, and you're like, all right, if we get 1 kill, and then you just rush the bomb site because you've thinned it out. So they get that kill, and they've also injured the next player. So easy round for Fnatic there to end things.
And even if you don't get a kill, just if you slow them down, if they hear the gunfire and they stop, then you know they just lose the B bomb site anyway. So yeah, it's not a bad idea. JW to take a kill, and that will be 8-7, favoring Fnatic after a really rough start. They managed to make it back, and that's quite impressive here. We'll see if Enemy can actually finish this. I mean, they have been looking really good on this map. So T side. I expect big things out of them.
Yeah, it's just such a Fnatic thing to be on some kind of a losing streak and then just find something that works, and you just barrel it home. So they end the half up 8-7, up 1 round.
And we'll see how it goes. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome back to ELEAGUE, everyone. We are halfway through map 2, and I got a quick moment to talk with the coach of Fnatic. That's Victor. I asked him, what does your team have to do here? Who do you have to boost up to win this one? And they said, oh, the whole team has to play. Everyone here has to stand up, but Olafmeister is making the plays for the teams today. So that's a big factor. Although Dennis chimed in and said, hey, watch me too. So that might be a hint there for you guys. But let's check out the rest of map 2.
Well, there we go indeed. It's going to be tough, I think, for Fnatic to close this one out. EnVy are looking pretty much on point, and I think the terrorist side of this map is still very, very good. If they could just win a pistol round and not lose
And
the
the following round.
It's those two conditions, right? Then it could work out.
I mean, the issue is that Fnatic, no matter what kind of a losing streak they go on, they always find something at the end. Like we just saw in the first half where they were completely, it was what, 7-3? And then it was a 5-round winning streak. So Fnatic just finds something, and they're so good at just hammering it home repeatedly that it just ends up in their favor. So, and I mean, just to talk about it, as cheesy as it is to say everyone on our team's got to step up to win this, everyone on Fnatic is within, 3-4 kills of each other, so it's not really any kind of star performance. The whole team is actually doing well.
Yeah, and I mean, that is always a bit scary. You don't even get the comfort of sort of a round where you take out that one big player and you think, oh, right now we've got it. Everyone seems to be able to do it here on the Fnatic side. JW and Olaf are very aggressive in the middle, and in fact, they're using the grenade that was put in from EnVy to try and see if they could take the fight, but now they're going to get overrun. JW hiding in the corner. No! How does he get that second kill? And he's still alive, falling back into the middle, looking for a bit more. He's got the double, and I have no idea how he's making it out. This is ridiculous. This is some Houdini-type Counter-Strike. Oh, no! He takes out Kenny as well. What a madman. JW, how does he do it? He's looking for the fourth. He gets the headshot mid-air, looking for the ace. Hasn't reloaded. He's out of bullets, and he's going to end up going down. But what an absolute magician. It's going to be down to Happy now in a 1-on-2. And I am absolutely just disgusted at what we just saw from JW.
Probably the only player who can have that kind of a sequence the way he does. And now Dennis is still alive. One of the best pistol players in the world that Happy has to go against in this 1-on-2. And he's not even going to be able to find that. What a round from JW. The fact that he survives this long and just gets away, goes back for more. It's the crazy thing about JW. This is why he's such a benefit to this team, because we see often these kind of plays that he does that get punished, where he actually just dies and it doesn't turn into anything incredible like this. But other teams always have to be aware that he's going to try and make those plays. It's always something that has to be on their head, so when they do come out, what an incredible timing for it.
But it also seems like if your mind was in a place where you were trying to anticipate that, then you would lose so many other fights, you know?
Exactly, and it's psychological warfare that comes out from JW is the best aspect of his game.
It's like if you were trying to plan for like the most obscure scenario, then you'd end up losing to all the regular stuff which is people just being traded in the smoke. That's obviously what should have happened. That would have been such a great trade for EnVy. They would have they would have traded 2 for 1 or something on the platform, and then just gone straight into A and probably won the round.
They'd even have had a lot of control of Catwalk if they wanted to slow things down, but now it's Fnatic who's got to go against this second round buy. Here comes the smoke. They've all dropped off Catwalk. They're pushing out towards long, but it's JW who holds on. Gets another life-saving shot, and then Devil just walks into his crosshair. So NBK with the scout, the only thing that's left. He's going for the jumping shot. Can't land it. He's done some damage, but eventually he is going to fall. It seems like he's just kind of out of time, out of opportunities, and it's Flush who responds with a jump of his own.
NBK not looking too happy on the camera there. I like this pre-fire from JW, the second one here, where he's actually shooting just like a little bit before. And that's so smart because he's so low on health, right? So he knows that if he goes to take sort of a quote-unquote real fight with him, then he's probably going to die anyway. So just, I don't know, the last 2 rounds from JW have been kind of insane. He's also top ranking at 20 kills, 5 ahead of Kenny, who's at 15. So Fnatic suddenly looking a lot more serious.
And now in this series, oh, actually, look at the aggression from Flusha. I mean, with the SMG, just trying to go farm up some of that bonus money, just on the hunt, knows he's going up against no armor. He's actually being very creative with this Molotov, gonna force Devil out. He's got 1 to his left. Dennis does find NBK and Apex. He's aggressive in B tunnel, so Fnatic is just going searching for this, and they're gonna find everything. Happy's the last one left, and he hasn't taken the fight yet. There's a nice shot, and he even gets a dink on a JW. So he's gotta fall away.
I mean, obviously they knew that they were up against his pistols, but it's kind of interesting, right? Because they actually push down so that one Fnatic member is holding here, JW is behind him holding right here, so all the way up there, and then Flusha's up here looking that way, right? So actually Flusha doesn't need to turn around. They've got the whole middle covered. You could probably mostly do this in a round where you're fighting, you know, no armor pistols, but it's still very aggressive. And Flusha doesn't have to worry about anyone sneaking up behind him. I like that setup.
Yeah, very rare you'll see that on gun rounds, but I mean, it's designed because they're like, you have an SMG, so who cares if you lose it? And on top of things, if you get the 2 kills that you got, then all of a sudden you have all this extra money that we can utilize for the rest of the half. So the economy plays coming out for Fnatic. Kenny's back on the off. It is a glass cannon, but a nice find from JW. Over the Molotov, he's just pre-firing that angle, and then Olaf Meister chimes in. This has been such a good run for Fnatic. They've had 8 straight, and it's looking like they have a huge advantage for 9.
Flashbang out, and it didn't actually affect JW, but the headshot most certainly did. Now, Flusher taking his position. Devil, is he going to see that coming? That's the big thing. Flusher only has a UMP, but at this range, it's going to be just fine anyway here. 3 on 3 at the moment. And the setup, I mean, especially right now, if you're Crims in the B-bomb side, you're very much alone.
Yeah, that's his strength. Fnatic is, I mean, on every single map, they don't mind leaving Crims all alone into a bomb site. Such a good player. What might catch Envy off guard, now they'll more than likely suspect this to a certain degree as someone being in this cave, but they've already killed someone there, so Flush has actually pushed up behind it, and he's going to get it with the UMP. There's a good trade from Kenny. And now Olaf has the decision to make. Does he watch long? Does he watch Catwalk with his AWP? 40 seconds left, and Envy is going to go right up the middle and split the defense.
Olaf Meister down on long, and this is a really good position. With the AWP, you can get a couple of free shots in. They only have 1 smoke, so they can maybe cover off his first position, but he can easily move around it. And just as I say it, he actually moves into a very tricky position with the AWP. They're jumping down. He takes the shot mid-air, and now it's all on Kenny. 1 versus 2, hiding in the corner there. Olaf going to pick up the kill. 3 for him, and Fnatic going to make it to another round. So a little bit of showboating almost for Olaf Meister, maybe for the crowd that's just turned up.
Yeah, why not? You can even see the stress on Kenny's face in the last second there when he loses that, but there's no way Envy could have known that Olaf was going to be on the ramp like that, or else MBK doesn't make that kind of a drop. It almost seemed like they were trying to be fancy, though. It looked like they did want to kind of drop in towards CT spawn. When they had mid control, they were at Xbox. They could have just done a standard mid-B split.
Maybe overthinking things a bit too much here. It's going to be a 5-round gap, and Envy out of money and soon to be out of rounds to play with. This second half definitely hasn't worked out the way that they were expecting, or we were expecting either. Olaf up in the window there, got to be a little bit careful, but he's got a bit of backup behind. Flusher and Dennis both helping out, and even the blind shot with the pistol, they're actually connecting with Happy, so that's interesting. Happy getting 1 kill, not that it's really gonna matter. We'll make the scoreline 13-7.
May have actually been dangerous for Fnatic, but I think Flusher got a double kill through the smoke.
Oh.
That'll shut things down.
That will shut things down. You know, I'm impressed that people made it into the studio today. We've got a sort of almost a heat wave going on here in Atlanta. I think that this even been on the news and everything. People said it was going to reach 100 degrees during the weekend. That's mad.
Isn't that just a standard day in Atlanta, though? I think that's pretty typical. I think everyone here is probably used to that.
No way. That can't be true. That cannot be true.
I'm pretty confident it is. They do call it Hotlanta.
Yeah, for good reason. It's interesting to be outside. Let's put it like that. JW and Crims are down at long, and look at the Fnatic setup here compared to Envy when they were on the CT side. Look at the impressive amount of mid control. I mean, Envy had multiple rounds where they had no one middle, and now Fnatic have got both Olaf and Flusher there.
And this all does come down as well. I mean, Dennis is even in the B bomb side now. We saw Crims last round. There's a pick from Olaf with the AWP. So they're going to punish Envy for wanting to go here. And there's Crims. Gets aggressive out towards long. We've actually started to see this out of Fnatic on Dust 2. They've been very aggressive at long, even at Cologne on Dust 2. Pop flashing over, going for that peak, because oftentimes it is only just one player there trying to watch for that push. So that's something they can take advantage of. And now with a 5-on-3, no one's even taken damage from Fnatic. And look at how far they just slink back on this map.
Oh, NBK right underneath Olaf's scope there in the smoke. It's very hard for Olaf to predict that happening. Just stunning individual play from NBK. That's a huge risk, but when you're this far behind, you kind of have to do it. Flusher picking up a kill right at the edge, and NBK going to be going down. Just solid work coming in from Flusher, and he's going to get a chance to reload behind the box as well. Devil has to go quick. He can't play this game. Waiting is dying in that position, and Dennis to pick up the 3rd kill there. I thought that was Flusher somehow, but yeah, Dennis with the triple overall. It's a really solid play coming out of him.
Oh, what a flick down. What a drag, especially blind. He sees him at the last second, but here's that pop flash out towards long. And this is not a very typical play to see, and that's why you see Happy just standing in the open with no cover to block himself from a flashbang. There's just not many teams who will be that aggressive out towards long, and essentially what was, you know, a 5-on-4 situation. It was very early in the round as well.
14-7 is what the scoreline is right now, and I mean, it was 16-13 on Cobblestone, so right now I actually look like the Cobblestone game, I mean, certainly closer than this one certainly is.
Well, the scoreline that's got to be worrying to me, and probably is what you see Envy, why they look so stressed and Happy looking very unhappy, is that it was 7-3 at one point for Envy, and now it's 14-7, so it's been 11 rounds straight for Fnatic, which is just so difficult to deal with mentally as a player.
Yeah. We do have a coach that was quickly crashing here, but we'll be back into the game. Just a brief technical pause. It's already been resolved, I can tell. I mean, right now, the odds are stacked fairly heavily against the French team. They're up against 2 AWPs. The money on Fnatic is pretty good. It's not through the roof yet. That might be the sort of the one thing that Envy could do to get back in here is win consecutive rounds, force an eco, and then try and see if they can build something. Look at Dennis rushing up. We said this was effective against no armor and pistols, but Fnatic don't care. They're going to do it in a round where Envy actually have bought, and Fnatic definitely know that they have as well. We're right at the edge here. Dennis going to be pushing right into Kenny, who's up top there. Bomb is down as well. Instant headshot from Dennis. What a way to start a round.
If you're Kenny, that's so stressful. And now the rest of your team, look at what the change with JW and Flush. And now JW pushes up. He has the angle with an AWP. Dennis is just going to keep that smoke down, and they're going to say, all right, we'll fight mid now, because you have to come from this angle. There's Dennis covering JW. He gets a second and a third one for the round overall. Happy finally responds, but the damage has been done again in a 4-on-2. Fnatic with this huge advantage.
Oh, and there's the shot coming in, finally picking it up. 15-7. JW getting a little bit of action in the middle. And again, he's playing very well at the moment. Him and Dennis both at 22 kills. This style of play where you're sort of breaking the rules a little bit and just being super aggressive, it's something that we've seen the Brazilians do a lot as well. It's just very annoying to play against, I have to imagine.
Fnatic's always been that team who their playstyle with this aggression is they'll get aggressive when it almost doesn't make sense. When you're thinking of like the right style of Counter-Strike to play, they get aggressive when you're supposed to be passive. And it's worked in the past, and it's working here still. Not giving Envy time to breathe, not giving them time to set anything up. And you can see Olaf with these op, JW now, still peeking every angle wherever they're at, peeking and taking fights and winning all of them, forcing Envy to finally win something.
Yeah, it should be a tell almost that when you don't even get to the point in the round where we can analyze what the terrorist team is doing, because they never actually get to do anything apart from just having fights. You know, there's no tactical aspect anymore. It's just Fnatic forcing fights so early on that Envy just have to try and see if they can maybe make up for it, which in this round they're doing a pretty good job here. Devil and Happy left alive, trying to see if maybe they can salvage the round. 2-on-2 with the bomb and still more than a minute left.
That's just that Fnatic confidence. After they win everything, they're like, all right, let's just keep pushing, and they get picked off. You can see how slowed down. There's still a minute left in the round, by the way. This has all happened so early on. But now, I mean, the issue is so many players have pushed so many different locations that Envy in their heads have no map of where the players for Fnatic are. They have no idea where Olaf and Dennis could even possibly be.
No, that is absolutely true. So, and I mean, because they don't have all the time in the world, 35 seconds, the bomb is being picked up as well. There are 2 Molotovs left on the Fnatic team, and that could be very significant when it comes to the retake here, assuming they can even make the cross. They don't have a smoke to cover this, so this is just cross your fingers and pray that Olofmeister is going to be a little bit slow. Are they going to run boost it over? That's brilliant. Devil going to try and make the jump, but it's not actually a run boost. Oh no, he just gets sacrificed for Olofmeister, and now there's 10 seconds left, and Happy's going to get legged. That run boost would have been perfect if it had worked, but it doesn't, and that's going to be 16-7. Fnatic defeating Envy on 2 maps here, and going to make it onto the semifinals. I swear, Moses, if that had worked, it would have been beautiful, but look at this.
Did you ever see that movie, Enemy at the Gates, where they argue over who's going to jump first? That's that scene exactly just played out right there. But I mean, that's the thing. Look, that Fnatic just ends up crushing that map at the end. They finally, you could see they kind of get in that mood, that zone where they just want to continue to be aggressive.
And I like the fact that it adds to sort of the Happy legacy of letting other people go first. Like, you jump up, I'll take care of it afterwards.
I'll be right behind you.
Yeah, you know, to be honest though, if I had to pick someone to sort of, you know, throw me across somewhere, I probably wouldn't be Happy, would it? He's not a big guy like that, you know.
No.
I don't think anyone would be throwing me anyway, but you see where I'm going with this. We are going to be going to the analyst desk right after this break.
Thank you. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. This is absolutely terrible work. You're fired, Klaus. Oh, hello there. I'm Seth Rogen, and you found me at my animation imaginatorium, where I'm hard at work on a new picture called Sausage Party. But don't take it from me. Take it from the star of our picture. Say hello, Frank.
Hello, Frank.
Oh. Now, Frank here knows a lot of stuff. He knows how to dance. Yada-dee-dee-da-da-da-da-da. And he knows how to curtsy. But what Frank doesn't know might just kill him and everyone he loves.
Wait, what?
That's right. Here's a taste.
I forgot your familia!
Oops.
You monsters! Those were baby carrots! They had their whole lives ahead of them!
Don't be so dramatic, Frank. It's a comedy. Now, you could check out Sausage Party yourself in theaters everywhere, August 12th.
Yeah, so that was a look at Sony's new animated feature, Sausage Party, which is in theaters August 12th. Make sure you get along to watch that. And of course, now what we're going to do is we're going to talk to Olaf Meister. Fnatic have done it. They are into our semi-finals at the Cobb Energy Center. Fnatic fans, you can now officially go and buy tickets. But more about that later. First, let's hear from Olaf Meister. He's with Rachel.
Thanks so much. So, Olaf, we have a couple questions for you. First up, you guys, Fnatic versus Envy was a huge matchup last year. What has changed between last year and this year, facing off against them in ELEAGUE here?
Well, I don't think you can really compare the matchup before, because EnVyUs hasn't really been themselves in a long time, so it's been easier this time around, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, talk to us about what happened a little bit on map 2. You guys were down 7-3, and you found the weakness in Envy, and you guys just came back with the quickness. So what changed?
We kind of just told everybody in the team, just said, we're not playing with confidence. We need to do what we usually do and don't be like cowards and take the duels. And yeah, it worked out.
Well, the next matchup today is Na'Vi versus Cloud9, and you guys are going to face the winner. So who would you prefer to face off against?
I don't really care who we play, but it will be fun to see Cloud9 winning here in America.
All right, well, we look forward to it. Thank you so much, Olaf Meister. Back to you guys at the desk.
Yes, so thanks very much there, and you can see some highlights of Olaf Meister just there on the screen. He had a good game, guys, and Fnatic did as well, but that's certainly not who I went with for my blazing hot player of the match, as presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. I chose Dennis. I thought Dennis had a very rounded game, really sort of came alive on Dust 2, and you can see from the stats here, really solid, you know, the ADR in the 80s, the high 80s, solid kills, very good kill to death ratio, and on Dust 2, I thought he was really just all over EnVyUs.
Sure, pretty solid performance by Dennis. Obviously, this was one of the key rounds, actually, that broke open that Cobblestone game where he got those 2 insane entry headshots on T side, which it's really difficult to get into that A site often. I mean, this was towards the end of the game, admittedly. He was kind of showboating a bit at that point in time. Now, for Fnatic, this was kind of a matchup where EnVyUs was very much in the first map. You know, 1 or 2 things go wrong. You go, okay, fair enough, we'll come back on the next map. We're good on Dust 2. Dust 2 was like a blowout by Fnatic, especially when you consider that they were actually just coming in that massive streak towards the end. It's not like it was even back and forwards and then they led away. Actually, it was EnVyUs who was leading. They had stuff going for the first half, and then it was the big Fnatic roll that just ended the game.
And I've got to talk about Apex here. I mean, you said it yourself, Puckett. You were fanboying hard on EnVyUs. No logic, no rhyme, no reason to your predictions. I thought you could come here on the analysis desk and show us all up. But you did identify one key thing, and you said, just one, of course. You said Apex had to have a good game, and he was just absent.
Yeah, Devil and Apex, I mean, a slightly better game out of Devil, but Apex just fell apart in this one. He's going to finish the game with just 8 kills. And this was a guy who looked good in those first 7 rounds when they were picking up the wins, but then he just disappeared, especially in the second half. He didn't get those entry frags to close out the first half as well. So, you know, I think you look at Apex, he had a bad game, but everyone on Envy had a bad game. Only 1 player above 75 ADR. You compare that to Fnatic, 4 players above 85, and the one guy who didn't, that was Crims, who had the least deaths in the game. So Envy just looked outclassed. They fell apart, and you have to wonder, was it the in-game leading, some bad strat calls, or just terrible execution from all 5 players?
What's your read on it, Duncan?
I mean, that's why I identified MBK as my X factor, because I felt like what's changed in this matchup from when EnVyUs used to win the best of 3s against Fnatic earlier in the year, end of last year, is they used to always actually have the fragging on their side in the matchup. they would have across the board more kills. Fnatic might win the clutch rounds, you know. This time around, Fnatic's winning the clutch rounds, but they're also consistently out-fragging your guys. Like, Cobblestone was fair enough. That was a pretty even matchup, except the Devil scenario. Dust 2 was all about Fnatic at this point in time, and you can't really look at EnVyUs and see a lot of positives from the Dust 2 game.
Yeah, but it now makes me a little bit worried for teams that have to go up against this Fnatic team. Looks like Dust 2's a map that they're going to pick and dominate teams on again.
I mean, I'm not so sure in the rest of the bracket whether we'll see it, because, I mean, we're expecting probably they would play... Well, it is either Na'Vi or Cloud9 next. It's one of the best maps for Cloud9. Na'Vi obviously would certainly know how to play the map. It'll be interesting to see. I think it might be like a pocket pick, and they're just going to keep it there, and maybe it's the curveball they'll throw in, because they haven't got a lot at the moment, actually. Their map pool's a bit shallow, and like I say, on the maps that aren't their strong ones, Train, Dust 2, they're mainly winning like this. They're just out-fragging people. It's not like they've figured out some new style that you have to counter necessarily. So certainly Fnatic look intimidating. That's the key detail for me, because when they have that kind of fear factor around them, where other teams are scared to play them, that's when we're going to see the Fnatic that can win this tournament.
Yeah, and obviously Fnatic will move on to the semi-finals at the Cobb Energy Center. EnVyUs out of
tickets available?
So I've been told at e-league.com/finals. Thanks for that, Duncan.
Smooth. Very smooth.
He's very smooth. Didn't shoehorn that in. But just the final words about your boys, EnVyUs. A little bit disappointed.
You know, they got to regroup after this. This is 2 majors back-to-back that they've gone out in group stages. Now here at ELEAGUE, after really strong performances in the groups, falling apart. But, you know, hats off to Fnatic. These guys simply outplayed them throughout this match.
All right, well, thanks for that, Chris. Now, we're going to reset the Twitch stream. So if you are watching on Twitch, we know there's a few tech issues. We're going to reset that for you. Do not go anywhere. It's going to be fixed, and we will see you after this short commercial break.
This ELEAGUE Game Break is brought to you by Sausage Party, in theaters August 12th.